I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
On the road, on the road, on the road, on the three. 1, 2, 3. Turn that damn beautiful.
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Our goal from the start of the season was to win a national championship, and then, of course, some injuries and things happened, and it just felt good to get to the Sweet 16, but, now it's kind of like our goal is still the same, so I don't think anybody here is, satisfied. We're going down to Vegas to get us 2 more and then, try to get to Houston, so that's kind of our game plan, and I think everybody in the locker room has the same mindset.
Welcome into halftime Tuesday, a wet one in Northwest Arkansas and across most of our listening audience on ESPN Arkansas and on hitthatline.com. I'm Phil Elson along with Matt Jones and Matt Travis. You guys keeping dry at our ESPN Arkansas headquarters today? Well, you're indoors, so I guess that's
it's always dry
question.
Inside as long as the roof holds up.
Well, it's holding up for the time being.
It's always a good day. I got to see Matty T's better half this morning as well.
That's right. My wife stopped by the station.
That's great. Did you get in your loops this morning?
It was too rainy for me.
Man, you'll get out in 32 degrees, but not when it's wet.
Well, he's been walking circles around the studio. For
there
an
you
hour.
go. Yeah.
It just turns you into a nervous wreck for the show, right? Didn't get in my miles. But I'm going to sit there and shake for a little bit. You heard Kamani Johnson as we come into the show today on goals for Vegas. What are your goals usually when you go to Vegas? Now, admittedly, I've only been there once, and my goal was to call basketball games for the Arkansas women's basketball team when that happened. Usually the goal when you go there is to not lose money.
Break even.
Yeah, that's right. Not lose money. You might go there thinking I'm going to win money. Just go there thinking you're not going to lose money. I guess that would be the right way to look at it.
I lost 5 days of money in one night.
Well, that's a lot.
It's like you go there for 5 nights, and it's like you have all your fun in one night. The very
It's a lot of
first night.
quiche.
I don't think you achieved your goal while you were there then, Maddie, unfortunately.
They say don't go hard as soon as you get there. I went hard as soon as I got there.
Man, you got to go soft when you first get there, don't you know? That's
Well, now I know.
Well, just took
Tell Ty.
Just took one bad trip. Yeah, man, that's right. I mean, forget about what the goals for the basketball team are. Forget about the goals for Razorback Nation with a chance to make it to a third consecutive Elite Eight. Let's make sure Ty doesn't get himself in trouble because I know he's leaving in about, 25 hours? The team's already on the way. They flew out from XNA, I think it was about 30 minutes ago. That's why we can't have Chuck Barrett on with us today. So we got to shift a little bit around. But, yeah, you get out there today, have a chance to settle into the hotel, maybe unpack your bags for a little bit. You don't always unpack your bags when you're on a basketball road trip. Heck, usually you wouldn't unpack your bag at all because it's a one-night stay. Tournament time, unpack those bags. Stay for a while. Stay through Saturday
You want to
night.
get to the gym, right? Like you want to go to the gym and get a shoot around the day before and just kind of see how it sets up, get a feel for it.
Yeah, and start to feel comfortable too. Not like you just arrived.
Change your body clock when you're changing 2 hours.
And have a chance to sit in the meeting rooms and go over your scout for Connecticut.
Coach Nutt used to always take us to a movie, Phil, like it was a road trip. So does Coach Musselman, do you know if they do stuff like that, like a team building deal?
Man, they every time that they've traveled, I think for almost everything, whether it's been Europe or whether it's been Maui or even in the NCAA tournaments the past couple of years. Now, they couldn't do anything in Indianapolis. I mean, they're pretty much sequestered. So last year when they went to Buffalo and then San Francisco, they went and saw the sights.
Yeah, right. Go check out a museum or go check something out, yeah.
Heck, they drove to Niagara Falls, which I think is like an hour away from Buffalo. So it's not like they just walked out of the hotel and saw what's around downtown. Vegas, man, I mean, what do you want to do? You want to go see Hoover Dam? You want to go see the Bellagio fountains?
I'd see. Do they still playing the Beatles show? I bet you there's a show out there that would be so cool.
I
got to see Penn and Teller.
Penn and Teller, yeah.
They stand outside and you get to meet them afterwards.
Go
too.
take them to a magic show before.
Lots of great
right,
magic shows.
right?
Yeah.
Yeah, make it something that they can remember, or just go and win 2 games.
We saw.
And they'll remember that.
We
too.
saw Jeff Foxworthy, Phil, at the Cotton Bowl when I was a freshman up here in Dallas. So I thought that was something
if you
remember.
saw Jeff Foxworthy at the Cotton Bowl, you might be a redneck.
And,
that was his gimmick.
That's a joke that writes itself, Matty. Well done.
Thanks.
Yeah, I mean, but a goal is a goal. You want to have fun while you're there and everything. But now, I mean, at this point, you can hear in Kamani's voice, this is a team that's got a goal to. They're not just thinking about UConn. Now, I can appreciate the idea of being a one game at a time kind of a player. But when you've beaten a #1 overall seed in a bracket and the team that was the defending national champion, it might have had the pieces to make another run.
That's a good team.
Why not think about it right now? Why not, pump, get that chest out a little bit? And obviously, they should be feeling really, really good about themselves, regardless of the idea that you got a really good Connecticut team in front of you. Regardless of that, now, this UConn team might be better than Gonzaga was last year.
This UConn team's good. Is Dan Hurley Bobby Hurley's brother?
That's right.
Yeah,
that's right. I also learned, and I maybe I should have known this, but I haven't watched enough Connecticut basketball games, that Bill Murray's son is an assistant coach, and not a volunteer assistant or a graduate assistant. Like, his career is college basketball. He's a big-time recruiter. He coached at Xavier and at Louisville, and he's a major part of this of this coaching staff. Luke Murray.
Bill Murray was in Space Jam. He was a little hooper back in the day, wasn't he? Wasn't he a little athlete, kind of like Adam Sandler likes to play pickup ball? I thought Bill Murray could actually dribble a little bit back in the day.
Well, I don't know if I'd say anything that happened in Space Jam.
I saw him do a behind-the-back pass. It was like that looked real. There was no CGI involved in that.
Well, he used to be a part owner in a bunch of minor league baseball teams. And he's been, he's got a history with the Cubs.
Yeah, the Cubbies.
He's got history on going on television with Harry Carey for
yeah.
baseball. But he's got that. Obviously, it's not a sports background, but a little bit of a sports background.
Would that be the coolest thing, to sing the 7th inning stretch with Harry Carey not wearing a shirt and just drinking an old style? Would that not be fun?
Can I try to do that when we do the Hog Pen broadcast next
yeah,
month?
you and Bubba.
That's what I told Justin, who runs Learfield, the Arkansas Sports Properties Group. He asked, what are you envisioning for this? It was, first of all, not an SEC game, because we've got to be 100% serious and harumph for the SEC. But don't worry, I'm not trying to make it a spectacle. I told him I'm not planning on taking my shirt off and drinking a beer like Harry Carey, or maybe I am. I don't know. I don't know. It's happened before. the Hog Pen is like the Wrigley Field bleachers. I got to show you this photo of Harry Carey, shirtless Harry Carey, sitting next to a woman in the bleachers. Who's there free and easy and looks like she's having a great time, and Harry's got this smile on his face like, look at the doll that's next to me here. Oh, gosh. Yeah, maybe we can do that on the Hog Pen. But, no, I've heard some stories of Bill Murray as far as, like, ownership was concerned. Yeah. This was when he was still he's been world famous for years, but I think
like
this was
70s,
right
80s?
about the time. This was the late 80s, man.
Yeah.
So this would have been like, well after Ghostbusters and well after Saturday Night Live. But he used to be a part owner of a bunch of minor league baseball teams, and he would actually go to those teams. He would go visit them. Like, he loved sports.
Yeah, you see where Will Ferrell went and did the spring training deal where he played for 9 teams in like 12 hours. Yeah, it was pretty cool.
Yeah. Well, Murray, the guy that ran the team that I worked for in Ogden, Utah, he worked for one of these teams too. They're called the Salt Lake Trappers. It's an organization that used to have the longest. They probably still. It's the longest longest win streak in the history of baseball. They won like 33 straight games in baseball. It was a low level minor league, but still 33 wins in a row is pretty impressive. But Murray showed up at the airport. They go to pick up his luggage. His luggage was, and this is the story. Who knows if it's a tall tale or not? The luggage was a trash bag that had been duct tape closed with his clothes inside of it. Yeah,
Class.
I don't know if he travels like that any longer. All right, it's always a busy halftime. I guess I always say that because it is. It's a busy, action-packed 3 hours.
It's gonna be a good show today.
The Sweet 16. It is. It is going to be a good show. Now, like I said, we have to switch some things around because of basketball's travel schedule. So we usually would have Chuck Barrett with us today, but he's up in the air somewhere, not on Breeze Airlines. Goodness, I mean, that's one of the greatest things for this basketball team now, that they actually are on an NCAA chartered flight that probably doesn't, get them there 2 hours late. Although, I mean, what happened with what was the school? Was it Grand Canyon? Was it Grand Canyon that had their uniforms did not make it to the tournament
was
site?
that in Orlando? Yeah. That's the SEC tournament.
No, this was an
just
NCAA
happened?
tournament game. Yeah, Bryce Drew is the coach. I think it's Grand Canyon. His Scott Drew ended up sending a private jet on his own money to go pick up the uniforms.
Who was the coach that used to take his own uniforms to the? Was it Gary Blair? Who was it? Was that not the SEC tournament this year? That one of the student managers forgot the jerseys or something, and it was in the coaches.
Oh, that was A&M.
That was this year, though.
That was a regular season game.
Oh, okay.
That was an Aggies regular season game where they left the. That's right. They left the uniforms in the hotel. That's what they did. Yeah, Buzz. That's why they lost in the first round, man. Yeah.
That's it. Attention to detail.
Why.
They didn't have it.
Okay, so instead of Chuck joining us, Grant Hall in a moment. And Clay Henry, who I know was on the Morning Rush earlier today, was unable to join us last week. He was a bit under the weather, but he's alive and well, and he's ready to join us today. And, of course, there's still a couple of days left before the Sweet 16 resumes to get over to our March Fever Bracket Challenge and redo your picks. This is how this whole thing works. If you want to be part of a bracket where you can win best overall bracket, best round, best Sweet 16, Final Four, so on and so forth, well, you got to redo your picks. So you got until tip-off of the first game on Thursday at hitthatline.com. Click on Bracket Challenge, make your selections, and you know how it works. You just basically get to see how you stack up against all the listeners and against all the personalities on ESPN Arkansas, plus great prizes for the winning bracket for the best Sweet 16 and the best Final Four bracket as well. Brought to you by Buffalo Wild Wings, 810 Billiards and Bowling at Fort Smith, Wheels RV in Springdale, and Shelter Insurance Agent Chris Dooley in Fort Smith. Grant Hall is joining us on halftime right after this.
ESPN Arkansas is live in Vegas at the NCAA Tournament. Our coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat. They can enhance your fishery at your favorite dock, lake, and pond at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. The Stadium Shop on Razorback. Sweet 16 gear available now. North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. And Red River Auto Group. Check out their inventory at redriverdodge.com and redriverfordcabot.com.
Vegas, baby!
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever this Thursday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles are on the lot for this one-time event. Cars as low as $49.95. Bring your trade-in. Multiple appraisers are on site to bid on your car. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed, even if you've been told no elsewhere. And no payments for 90 days. Plus, state tax paid when you buy this weekend. The inventory liquidation event. Thursday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters. Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Today is the day. After countless hours of research, cutting back expenses, and 9 months of anxiously waiting for her, today is the day you finally bring home your new car. It's also the day to protect her with an auto policy from Shelter Insurance. Our policies are competitively priced and include new car replacement coverage if anything were to happen to your new baby.
Call Phil Hicks in Greenwood or Wade Gilkey in Fort Smith. What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Now's the time to get a great deal on select Kubota compact tractors, rated #1 in durability and owner experience. They're designed for easy operation and feature performance-matched attachments. Right now, put 0 down and get 0% APR for up to 72 months now through June 30th. See us or go to KubotaUSA.com for full disclaimer.
Gray Brothers Equipment. When you pick an orange, you'll never get a lemon.
Burton Pools & Spas has built over 12,000 pools and installed more than 8,000 hot tubs, making the Burton family more than 20,000 members strong. Join the Burton family during our hot tub and swim spa closeout sale. All 2022 models must go. Save up to $37.50 off hot tubs and save up to $7,000 off swim spas with financing available. Stay healthy, have fun, and spend more time together with a hot tub from Burton Pools & Spas. At Burton, we do more than install hot tubs. We build long-term relationships.
The people have voted, and Evans Body Shop has been recognized. Voted Best in the River Valley this year and 5 years running Best of the Best Independent Body Shop. We are so grateful for the support of our community. EBS has hundreds of 5-star reviews and countless satisfied customers. We invite you to experience a customer service level that sets our shop apart from the others. Call or come by today to see why we say
Evans Body Shop, where we meet the nicest people by accident.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Take my hand and come with me because you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. I say you look so fine that I really want to make you mine. 4, 5, 6, come on and get your kicks. Now you don't need the money when you look like that, do you, honey? Big black boots, long brown hair. She's so sweet with her get back stare. Well, I can see you home with me, but you were with another man, yeah. I know we ain't got much to say before I let you get away, yeah.
Make sure to follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Talk with Grant Hall here on Halftime, and usually that's on a Wednesday, but things change a little bit when you got a bunch of people traveling today and tomorrow that also come on the show for a Sweet 16 game Thursday. So, Grant, I appreciate you joining us a day early today on Halftime. How you doing?
I'm doing well, Phil, and I was just doing some quick math here. Do you realize that in Arkansas's regional, in the region that they're in, there are 16 national championships. UCLA 11, Connecticut 4, Arkansas 1. Wow. And I think they're, and of all the other teams, unless I'm missing somebody, just kind of off the top of my head, Michigan State's in there, but that's it. So this is like the legacy region that Arkansas is in. Pretty cool.
Yeah, Kansas was in our. Yeah, that's you're right, man. That's wild.
Well, UConn had the last one as far as any of these programs is concerned.
Was that Jim Calhoun still, or was that a different coach?
No, that was Kevin. No,
yeah, 2014. Calhoun had 3, I think. And,
Man.
I tell you, they beat Alabama. This team, it's really weird. They had that 2-6 stretch in their conference when they, I don't know if there were injuries in there, but this Sonogo is like 6'9", 245.
He's a beast.
the guy, what's the guy that made 4 out of 5 threes the other day? Jordan Hawkins, I think, really good shooter, and they got a 7-2 kid in there. So it looks to me, Matt and Phil, like going to be some great defensive assignments for Arkansas, and see with the Mitchell guys and what Kamani Johnson can do, who's been fantastic in the NCAA tournament.
He's been an absolute menace. Yeah, I was talking with Phil earlier. It's like our bigs are going to have to play big and be enforcers, and really going to have to rebound the ball well.
Yeah, that's right. And, Devo, of course, is getting all the national acclaim that he should get. I thought that moment where he, was on television and got so emotional, that struck a chord with every single commentator that talked about it after the game. And then even there was the Pig Trail Nation had one back in the tunnel there, the hug with Musselman and Devo that was quite something. And I think, to me, guys, it's a seminal moment almost in coach-player relationships around the country. I mean, I think a lot of coaches and players can relate to that. Matt, Lou Holtz had one of those things, in his first year at Arkansas when he disciplined the 3 players and got all kinds of acclaim from around the country from other coaches and stuff. So Devo's had quite Arsenal calls him Mr. March. So I guess, Arkansas, I was also looking at this. Eric Musselman has 8 NCAA tournament wins in the last 3 years. That is a total that is 3 more than all of the Arkansas coaches of the last 23 years. You think the last 6 years of Nolan and you got Stan Heath and Pelfrey, and 8 years of Mike Anderson was a total of 5 NCAA tournament wins in 23 years. And Eric has 8 in the last 3 years.
Trust and must, right? And you got the evidence right in front of you. Why? And man, I mean, there were doubts this regular season that this team could put it all together for any kind of a run in March.
Lost 6 of our last 9, Phil.
But you got to trust in Muss. It's like there's any for the rest of his tenure at Arkansas. You'd be like, all right, well,
just get in the tournament, huh?
Get into the tournament. That's right, because he's a good. I mean, what do you think makes a great tournament coach compared to a regular season coach that has success like a Matt Painter, but hasn't really gotten all that far in the tournament on a consistent basis?
Yeah, I think you build everything you do is toward March, and how can you figure it out and be peaking at that time? And he's been able to do that. And I heard a real interesting thing from Jay Wright the other day, who was very high on Arkansas. Actually, he kind of, thought that they might reach the Sweet 16 going in. But he was talking about how at this point of the season now, it's not so much about X's and O's as like getting your rest. Just do what you do, and he said, like on Monday when they go back to school, be a student for that day. You can stay away from other players even a little bit. And I thought, Phil, last night it was interesting that Arkansas's players went to the women's NIT game and did that for kind of a relaxing night. And by the way, congratulations to them for making the Sweet 16 of the WNIT.
Yeah, that's cool.
Yeah, so a lot of stuff. I mean, this is an amazing time at Arkansas. You got the baseball team with its longest in-season winning streak, I think, under Dave Van Ort. He had one that was 16, but it was over 2 seasons. Excuse me. So that's, I think the 13, isn't that right, Phil? Ties his best in one season for a winning streak. And, of course, they're going to face a very difficult series this weekend, and the softball team, came back and did well and won 2 out of 3 against Alabama. So it's pretty cool.
Track national championships. Taylor Moore wins a PGA event, gets a Masters invite. Man, it's salad days here on the Hill. You're right. Now you brought up Taylor Moore to me the other day when I saw you over in the near the press area. It was a great setup, guys, because Grant. I think this was after the Sunday game, right, Grant? And he's usually in the press box, but he took a step outside to where there's the ladies who check everybody that's coming up to the suites. There's a big TV there, and he just sat there in front of the television with no other media members around him to bother him to watch the game and work on whatever it was you were working on. That was a pro move, Grant.
Well, it's kind of you don't kind of know where to be this time of year. I went to about 22 NCAA tournaments. It's tough not going to them. And as you know, if you don't go to the first round, then you don't get to go to the other rounds unless you want to buy a ticket. Las Vegas this week, I heard last night, and you probably know this, but Taylor Swift Taylor Swift on Thursday and Friday. And so all the hotels and the flights and stuff are kind of intense right now, trying to get out there.
I was going to ask Grant if you are a Swiftie, but I know the answer to that. But let's talk about the baseball team for a moment here, because you've had your eyes on them too. So what really stands out about this winning streak, and really about the last week, is for a team that was on shaky ground as far as pitchers that they felt they could trust. There's been some pitchers that have emerged. One of them today that we're going to see, Ben Bybee, who is one of those big projectable right-handers. That throws hard, has a good breaking ball, and looks like he could go out and give you a few innings if he really gets rolling. Cody Adcock did that on Sunday. Dylan Carter continues to pitch really well. What do you think this team needs right now to really kind of keep this thing going? What else needs to happen?
Boy, I can't think of too much, Phil. And even the defense has been good. The pitching. Do you think Dave was kind of figuring this out all through the pre-conference about what he was going to do in terms of, I guess when Tigert got hurt, it kind of forced his hand a little bit, and so they're doing with Hagen Smith what they're doing now, and that looked pretty good. He threw 51 pitches in 2 different games, I think. Adcock looked great. They've got, I think, they seem to have enough pitching now. It's a long conference season, and it's going to be a tough one this weekend. But, a lot of good arms, and everything's looking pretty good.
Definitely is. Well, women's basketball last night, they just looked like they totally overmatched Stephen F. Austin. They made Stephen F., who won like 26 games, they made him look like a Division II team yesterday. And I think that's actually a pretty good team that they just kind of ground into the dirt.
Yeah, it's a 27-win team, and talking to the coach afterwards, he was pleased to still be playing on March the 20th or whatever. But Phil, I thought just looking at that, you see the difference between the SEC and just other teams. In terms of the height and the physicality, and Arkansas won the rebounding battle last night. That doesn't happen too often in the SEC. And it was like, what was it, 18-0 on fast break points, 20-0 on second chance points. Those aren't figures you're accustomed to seeing in the SEC. So they could continue to have a little fun in this thing. Texas Tech's going to be tougher. They're coming to town Friday night. But this is like that year when Arkansas kept outbidding everyone to get the home games. And as long as they can get home games, I think they're going to continue to advance.
It was a nice scene right next to me after the win yesterday when Mike Neighbors sits down to do the post-game interview, and Hunter Yurachek walked over to congratulate him, but also Mike looked up, and we went into that game thinking that if Arkansas won and Texas Tech won, that the Hogs would have to travel, that they would be going to Lubbock, because Lubbock, they'd gotten over 5,000 to their first WNIT game, but Arkansas outbid them. I think they put in an extra bid, and they got the home game. So it was nice to see. You could tell Mike was really thankful and grateful, and I think in his eyes too, it's good to see that. Obviously the men's team is playing in the Sweet 16. This is a big national spotlight, not just for the basketball program, but for the university and really the state as a whole. But if you're an athletics director, and obviously you're going out there for the games and with the team and everything, but you got other sports that have big things going on. So I think he felt really grateful for that.
Yeah, Mike had mentioned the bullish, stance by the UA to get that game. And it dovetails nicely with the week. It's Friday night, and then, of course, the basketball team plays on Saturday. So everything's clicking pretty good right now.
Did you hear that? Grant put Arkansas in the Elite Eight right there. Did you hear that?
It'd be nice. It'd be nice when they get another home game. But I was asking Phil earlier, if they make the Final Four, they don't get to go to Madison Square Garden.
No, it's not that. That's only the men's NIT. That would be its campus sites.
Yeah.
But a tournament,
it'd still be cool.
Well, it's also like you say, Matt. You get a chance to hang a banner. Like they have a WNIT championship banner up in the rafters. It's
you get a chance
to hang a banner.
I
man.
love it. Yeah.
And Grant, it's like that tournament is so much like bowl games. Buy-in. Who's buying in? And you could tell from the start, the women's team has bought into the WNIT, and they just want to go and they want to keep playing.
You know, the men's NIT at one time was considered on a par, maybe, or even a little bit higher than the NCAA tournament. And I saw where St. John's has won 6 of them or something like that in that story that Rick Pitino, 70 years young, getting a 6-year deal at St. John's.
But that's the next thing I got to bring up to you here, Grant. Mike Anderson. I mean, talk about it feels like slander.
Is there any truth to it? Because I was around Coach Anderson, and man, just one of the best dudes to be around. You know, he loves to coach.
Grant, you covered Mike Anderson before. I mean, this doesn't sound like him at all.
Sounds like they don't want to pay him the money.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's $11 million at stake, I guess, and they say they're firing him for cause. What do they say the cause is?
Because they didn't win very many games, but you can't fire him because of that.
They were pointed. What I read was about it had something to do with the not providing an atmosphere for academic success, and apparently like the assistant coaches, relationship with the assistant coaches or something like this. It's really from being around him a little bit, and from hearing you and plenty of other people around.
When his boy TJ's there with him as an assistant coach,
it doesn't make any sense at all. It doesn't sound like the man that people here know.
They should have just said, "Well, he was 17 and 14 on average in 4 years, and we won more."
Now he wants some money back. Exactly.
Yeah.
Well, you're gonna try to fire somebody for cause and hire Rick Pitino. I mean, come on now. Talk about getting fired for cause. He got fired for cause.
He went to Greece for a couple of years, out of sight, out of mind, and then back to Iona, and then back up in the big time.
Well, I mean, you see it right now, Grant. Look at, Ole Miss, Auburn,
Alabama.
That's right. I mean, it's all about winning. I mean, you can pay all sorts of homage to get a degree, go to class, build the person, build the student athlete, and all of that. It's about winning.
How about the SEC? Tennessee, Alabama, and Arkansas. We're talking about basketball, not football.
Grant, Tennessee surprised me, man. That I thought Duke would. When that guard went out for Tennessee, I was surprised as anybody that they made it.
Well, that was one of the few things I got right in my bracket. I had Tennessee going to the Final Four.
Nice.
So we'll see. But it's been a great tournament, just tremendous. I mean, these upsets, Princeton to the Sweet 16 is fantastic.
It's my favorite tournament. I mean, it really is that weekend, and then this next week. It's like the AFC and NFC championship games in NFL. That weekend is awesome. The Masters Sunday is pretty cool, but this March Madness, especially when you got a team in it, when you still got a horse in the race, it just makes it that much sweeter.
Yeah, and it's going to be tough against Connecticut. Obviously, they've got enough to say grace over. But I do think that what Jay Wright said, he said, get the players off their feet. And that's something, Matt, that Ken Hatfield used to say about football, the 48 hours before the ball game, get off your feet, rest, be fresh. And that's when Arkansas is fresh, they're pretty good.
Well, they're going to have a little more than 24 hours to get their feet up and be prepared for this big one Thursday night. Grant, again, appreciate you hopping on a day early. That means a lot, and I'll always enjoy these segments with you. Thank you so much. I'll see you at Baum today.
Okay. See you.
Thanks, Grant.
Got it. That's Grant Hall. The Sweet 16, Matt, I feel like the first 2 rounds are fun to watch, but it's almost a little bit too much. It's just so difficult to follow everything happening all at once. There are so many games and so many moments. And heck, they got them on 4 different networks all running around the same time. With the Sweet 16 and the Elite 8 and all these teams, all these games have their own time slot. And admittedly, if there's a bad game, you can't go find another game that's any better. But I don't feel like I have my head on a swivel as far as these next 2 rounds are concerned. Hey, give us a call or a text. We got an open segment, 877-377-6963. It's halftime.
ESPN Arkansas is live in Vegas at the NCAA tournament. Our coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat. They can enhance your fishery at your favorite dock, lake, and pond at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. The Stadium Shop on Razorback. Sweet 16 gear available now. North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. And Red River Auto Group. Check out their inventory at redriverdodge.com and redriverfordcabot.com.
Vegas, baby! It started as a dream, and here you are. It's moving day. But wait, isn't moving supposed to be stressful? Oh, that's right. You bought your home using Weichert Realtors. Your Weichert agent guided you from start to finish to help make sure we found you your perfect place. Dream, move, home, Weichert. Call your local Weichert Realtors office today and make your move. And look for our bright yellow signs. At Weichert Realtors, we sell more because we do more. Each Weichert franchised office is independently owned and operated.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Growing up, my parents always encouraged me to do what's right, even if it wasn't easy. I'd always hear my mother's voice say, "Do the right thing." That stuck with me. Every day, just do the right thing. That's it. The rest takes care of itself.
At Shelter Insurance, we believe in doing the right thing for our customers and our communities.
Call Chris Dooley in Fort Smith.
Right now, catfish is something special at Calico County. Whether you like it crispy, fried, grilled, or blackened, all our catfish is currently available at a special price. They'll cook it the way you like it and serve it with 2 sides and rolls. You can also have their same great fish served on a hoagie roll with slaw and their own remoulade. The Catfish Po' Boy's on special as well. So roll on into Calico County for great catfish at a great price. Calico County, just off Rogers Avenue, behind Randall Ford.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drug Store has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drug Store can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drug Store, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drug Store, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
Fill your pot with golden deals all month long during our Lucky You sales event at the Crane Used Car Supercenter. Shop a great selection of Crane certified pre-owned vehicles as low as $279 a month with 0 down. And Lucky You will cash in every time with our exclusive Crane certification, including a 100-year, 100,000-mile powertrain warranty. Get low financing and buy with 0 down today at the Crane Used Car Supercenter of Fort Smith, U.S. Highway 71 South.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
It's our annual Battle of the Brand sale going on now at Breeden RV. In the heavyweight division, we have the Thor Chateau versus the Gulfstream BT Cruiser, both at $39,000 off MSRP. The lightweights are ready to roll with the Starcraft Autumn Ridge, coming in at $211 a month versus the Coachman Clipper at just $206 a month, both with taxes paid. We're knocking them out with state sales tax paid on all new 2022 models and free maintenance for life on everything new. Come in, pick a winner, and drive away the undisputed champion of the campground. When this Friday and Saturday, where Breeden RV on Alma Highway in Van Buren. See dealer for details.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
That my life is pretty plain, and don't you know that
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, this feels like a long-lost version of this song, because they haven't had Shannon Hoon any live recordings for a long time.
Well, we found an unplugged version, and I asked Matt, what do you think we should go with, this or the studio version? He says, I like it a little raw sometimes. Yeah. That's a Matt Jones quote.
Well, that's Wu-Tang Clan.
Well, you got it from ODB.
Yeah,
It was Matt Jones, ODB.
So that's not quite your epitaph, Matt. Not yet, at least.
I'm just gleaning from all the other philosophers that I've learned from, yeah.
You're a good gleaner. You're gleaning from Shannon Hoon, too. It is going to stop raining in time for baseball today. Maddie, don't worry.
You promise?
Don't worry about reprogramming the stations or anything.
I'm not going to do it if you say so.
I'm telling you right here. If Arkansas, okay, I should have learned my lesson about this before, but I'm going to go ahead and try it again. Okay. If this game gets rained out today,
oh boy, what's he going to eat this time?
I will eat a fake shoe made out of flour, eggs, and sugar. Okay. That's how much I feel we're going to play baseball today. In fact, Dave Van Horn told me so. I'm doing the show at Baum today, and usually there's.
Is
a
it
gate
covered?
Open.
The field covered right now?
Of course, the field's covered.
Yeah.
They had it covered since Sunday's game ended, and. Usually I don't have – it's funny. Like, SmackDown used to think that I ran the place. Like, I had a whole set of keys. I could just go anywhere I want. No, I've got to beg to be let in. Otherwise, I just got to jump the fence.
He's hopping the fence.
Yeah, I'm a fence hopper.
You're an athlete. It's a sports show.
I'm a little nervous. These are tall fences. I'm sporting with my voice. But so I had to walk over to the Hunt Center. Usually there's a first base gate that's open, but that sucker's closed today. So it's like 30 minutes before the show starts, and at that point I'm thinking, all right, I'm going to have to get clever now. How am I going to make it in here? And so I start walking down towards the Hunt Center. You can look in through the glass walls, and there's DVH walking up the stairs on his way to the office, and he noticed me. I wave. I'm trying to get his attention from like 50 yards away. Hey! And he points. You, me, you need to be let in? Like, yes, thank you. And so he opens the door. And I'm like, all right, the first thing you got to talk about with a head coach when it's raining outside is the weather. That's always going to be top of mind. So Dave says this is going to move out. It's going to start getting warmer as the day goes along. This is going to be one of those weird weather days where the temperature will rise at 11 o'clock at night all the way to 5 o'clock in the morning. So it's going to be a little bit different. He said the wind will be blowing in, but it'll stop raining enough. It's going to rain enough to kill a crowd, but it's not going to rain enough to bang the game. By the way, too, have we gotten into, Matt, the correct baseball terminology for postponing or canceling a baseball game? Maybe it's different for football because not too many football games get banged.
The
term is banged. When a baseball game is canceled or postponed, that game has been banged. And they say it in the clubhouse. They'll even say it over the loudspeakers every once in a while. You can say that with Dave Van Horn, and he won't look at you cross-eyed. He also told me that he had to write on the whiteboard in the meeting room for the team, did you guys know we have a game today? Because he said all he could hear in the weight room when he walked through was the team talking about the weekend LSU series.
Uh-oh.
So I think in coach's mind, like, the guys might be looking ahead a little bit past today against a Southeast Missouri team that comes in 10-12. But you know what I've told you about midweek baseball, Matt?
World's largest cocktail party.
It kind of feels like that. That's right. It's college baseball is the drunkest sport in all of college. And if you think, weekends are for partying, well, let me introduce you to Tuesday and Wednesday college baseball. That's right. It's a party with a beer bong. My gosh, it's craziness. So who knows what'll happen? But I'm sure that since Dave already is trying to rejigger their focus a little bit, they'll be ready to go.
There's nothing like lifting weights and then having a game later. You go to class, you get your weights in. Oh man, they got to be loving it.
I'm sure they got to be loving it. And we've already had like 3 texts onto our text line asking if they're going to play today. I can appreciate. Thank you for not asking yesterday. we will get questions on a Monday about the weather for the baseball game on Friday and whether or not that game's going to be moved or postponed or whatnot. And there are never any answers that I have that far ahead. But as far ahead as 3 hours and 14 minutes until first pitch of this game.
Well,
let me just say this: the great folks at Harps, they're going to be able to save on their sugar and their eggs and their flour and their cocoa powder, because no one's going to have to make me a shoe to eat today, because we're going to play.
I love it. I'm excited.
It's written in stone. You've heard it.
It's written in water on the tarp right now is what I'm writing that thing in. 877-377-6963. When they do play baseball today, be at Joe's Grill and Cantina to watch it or listen right here on ESPN Arkansas and on hitthatline.com. But you go over to Joe's Grill and Cantina for any Razorback event, half-price apps and half-price taps during the game. Plus, it's Taco Tuesday at Joe's Grill and Cantina. There's another reason to get over there. But you got a baseball game you can watch and get half-price apps and half-price taps, but you also get dollar tacos, crispy beef or chicken tacos all day long. Doesn't get any better. Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th in Fort Smith, across from Harps. They're open Tuesday through Saturday. joesfortsmith.com or the Waiter app to put in an order. Hour number 1 comes to a close after this.
Rain, go away, rain, rain, back again another day. Shine the glass and the chocolate bar. I'm leaving behind for my children will see what's left of me. Cue up James Bond and like up the funky sound now. I say it won't be the last time.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Make sure you have everything you need for the games this March Madness by stopping by Four Corks Wine and Spirits. Choose from a wide selection of bourbons and whiskeys, craft beers, and a great selection of the coldest imports in town. Take advantage of the walk-in humidor for an A-list of cigars. Everything you need and more for March Madness is at Four Corks Wine and Spirits, just past the intersection of Mazard and Zero Street towards Ben Guerin Park.
Are you a qualified CDL driver with local or over-the-road experience? Tired of driving older equipment, not having enough home time, feel like a number? You need Patriot Transport. Patriot Transport, based in Centerville, with locations in Russellville and Van Buren, provides you with late model equipment, has a family atmosphere, and provides you the opportunity to make $95,000 per year. Patriot Transport works with you to get the miles you want and the family time you need. Change your life today. Visit patriottransport.com to apply. That's patriottransport.com.
Springtime is finally here, and Road Chevrolet in Van Buren has the savings you need. Enjoy a 6-quart full synthetic oil change for $59.95 with a tire rotation at no additional charge. And save money by getting a 4-wheel alignment for only $79.95. To save even more, if you've never met our service manager, Ronald Peters, come and shake his hand and save $20 off any other service. It's as easy as a handshake. Road Chevrolet Van Buren and Rhodes Tire Center. Prices you'll love, people you can trust.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit kevinhickeylaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
Are you needing new tires? Are you short on cash? Van Alma Tire can help you get back on the road. Come by Van Alma Tire and apply for caffeine. It only takes minutes to get approved, and you can get the tire or the service you need to get your vehicle back on the road. Top-of-the-line tires, brake service, and more. Van Alma Tire is here to help you. Located on Highway 64 between Van Buren and Alma. Must be 18 or older. Valid ID. Active checking account and income at least $1,000 per month.
After I drop the kids off, I have to run across town for a meeting, hit the gym during lunch, Jake has soccer tonight, and Emily has Gymnastics? Oh, did I turn on the crock pot this morning?
With a never-ending to-do list, it's easy to forget something important, like setting up a life insurance plan with Shelter Insurance. Your local Shelter agent can show you how to create a safety net for your family. Shelter Life Insurance Company, Columbia, Missouri.
Call Jeff Clark in Fort Smith or Brad Howell in Van Buren.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
I can't stand the rain against my window, bringing back sweet memories. Yeah, when the rain, do you remember how sweet it used to be?
Welcome back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Got a question or comment for the guys? Give them a call or send them a text at 877-377-6963. Let's get back to the show with the voice of Arkansas Razorback baseball, Phil Elson, and Razorback football legend Matt Jones.
I tell you what I'm going to do later tonight when this baseball game ends. World Baseball Classic Finals tonight.
That's what I was going to ask you, Phil.
That's what I want. I don't know if I'll be able to watch it. I got to drive back home.
Trout or Shoante? Am I saying his name right?
Shohei Ohtani.
Yeah, Shoante. Yeah, I was so close.
Mix his first and last name together.
Who would you take? I mean, I want to get into the game a little bit, but if you had the number one pick right now, who's the best player in baseball?
Oh man, I mean, I'm
would
biased.
you take either one? Or
I'm biased because I'm a Trout fan.
Yeah.
He played for the Travelers one of the years I worked there, so I got to know him a little bit and just admired watching someone that we kind of sensed would be a future Hall of Famer for 91 games. But it's tough to go against Ohtani just because he does it all. I've never seen him in the field. I don't know if there's actually a position he plays outside of pitcher, but he's a designated hitter. He's such a good hitter. I mean, he is strong. He gets that bat around really fast.
So he could play right field, or he could play first base, or
he's fast enough to play the outfield.
Yeah.
You watch him run the bases.
That's why I was asking. Yeah.
So I'd imagine you have him in the outfield. Boy, I wonder if he has the arm to play right field. Yes, he does. He has the arm to play past right field in the upper deck and still throw it all the way near home plate, or at least it feels like that.
I'm going to try to check. I like greatness, Phil. I like seeing the best do what they do, and these are the best in the world.
Well, Mike Trout is an incredible player. And just to think of the idea, Matt, that both of these guys have been on the same team for 5 years and have never made the postseason.
Wow.
Like, what a joke.
Yeah.
What a joke. A franchise that has literally the best player in the game. And then
do people just not want to play with them, or is it the location, or just the front office?
They've ended up putting money. They've ended up spending money on some bad signings.
Yeah.
And for a while, having Albert Pujols was a bit of an albatross around their shoulders for, having money to actually have complementary pieces around them, but just don't have much of a pitching staff right now, and they're also in a tough division. The American League West is an awfully tough division. The Mariners and the Houston Astros, of course, have been the dominant team in that division for a long time. I think the Rangers might be in a better position than the Angels right now. But they've got Trout signed to a deal that's, I think, got another 7 or 8 years on it. Ohtani's a free agent after, I think it's next year. It's either after this year or next year. He's a free agent. And I can't imagine that he's going to resign.
He's a Yankee, isn't he? Like that's
I don't know if he's a Yankee.
Yeah.
It always feels we always jump to that conclusion with any.
It's like a soccer player you saying he's a Real Madrid. Like it's kind of the same. Yeah.
I could see him signing with Seattle. They've got history with Japanese
Yeah,
stars.
King Felix, man. I love some Felix Hernandez. I thought he was the real deal.
I wouldn't be surprised if he stays out west, but I don't think it'll be the Angels. Watch out if it's the Dodgers. You talk about a team that's got more money than anybody, but Ohtani is going to be paid quite a bit more than anybody else. All right, we're going to move into hour number 2 on halftime. Clay Henry's joining us, and we've got room for calls and texts at 877-377-6963. We'll be right back.
The largest used car sales event in Fort Smith history is this weekend at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. 5 days only, Thursday through Monday. Harry Robinson has combined the inventories from Sallisaw and Fort Smith with over 500 vehicles, deeply discounted for this weekend. Vehicles start at $49.95, state tax paid, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, bring your trade because nobody pays more than Harry Robinson. The inventory liquidation event. Special extended hours Thursday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
Colorworks Paint and Body in Barling offers professional automotive painting, bodywork, and fabrication that is unsurpassed in talent and dedication. Owner Andy Herod uses the latest in collision repair technology to ensure all damage is addressed, whether it's visible or hidden, and works with all insurance companies. Andy and his crew have the experience and commitment to give you complete trust in the repair of your vehicle, no matter the size of the job. Colorworks is located at 1206 4th Street in Barling, across from Dollar General, and is on Facebook, where you can check out their work.
Is your heating system leaving you out in the cold? Funny smells? Grinding noises? Or just plain not keeping you comfortable? If it's time for a new heating and air system, you deserve the best. Get a complete Pascal system replacement starting at only $99 a month. Don't settle for good when you can have the best. Schedule today at gopascal.com. Professional people, professional service, Pascal Air, Plumbing, and Electric.
Normally, Mock Legal Solutions would incorporate that big basketball tournament that happens in the 3rd month of the year in this ad, but for legal and trademark purposes, we can't talk about that. And that's just pure madness. So we're going to just keep it simple and ask you to check out our new website at mocklegalsolutions.com. At mocklegalsolutions.com, you'll find a list of our services, who we are, and how we save you money. And as always, you can contact us at 479-769-1505. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price.
At Frank Rowe Furniture, spring is on the way, and Frank Rowe Furniture is ready. We have new arrivals on made-in-the-USA furniture at unbelievable prices. We have two-piece sectionals starting at $13.49, recliners as low as $3.99, sofa and love starting at $13.99. Frank Rowe Furniture offers in-store no-credit check financing with the manager approval or a SEMO financing or SNAP financing. Frank Rowe Furniture, 405 4th Street, Barling, Arkansas. Best seats in the house.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of seeing some showers early. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the low 50s with winds up to near 30 to 35 miles per hour. Chance of seeing showers tonight. Overnight low will drop down mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then cloudy and breezy for Wednesday. Our high in the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
Good station. KERX Paris Fort Smith. This is halftime, coming at you from the Bushlight Studios on ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Both said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I put my my heart, dog. Let's go, man.
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones. On the road, on the road, on the road, 1, 2, 3. 1, 2, 3. Turn that damn beautiful.
Now, here's Phil Olson and Matt Jones.
Well, still got the rain falling at Paul Walker Stadium. Still very gray and cloudy skies, but this rain's going to be moving off. There will be baseball in a couple of hours, actually 3 hours here on 3 out of your 4 ESPN Arkansas affiliates. Ruskin and Zach, of course, stay on hitthatline.com. I'm Phil. We got Matt Jones, Matt Travis, and Clay Henry. It's been a minute, Clay. How you doing?
I'm doing great. You know, you mentioned weather and Dave Van Horn. There is not anyone in the world more closely attuned with the weather than a college baseball coach.
Yeah, especially a college baseball coach who knows what he's talking about when it comes to horticulture. I mean, you know about Dave with the tree planting and all of that.
Hundreds of trees.
It's a big thing for him. Yeah, so I'm sure he knows all about anything going on with the weather.
We were talking about the trees, and he goes, "Now, Clay, the trees that we're planting, they're not little trees. I mean, it takes a front end loader. I mean, it's and I don't think you dig the hole with a shovel either."
No, I don't think so. But I mean, it's even reflected in the field that they play on here. I mean, you got an all grass, all natural surface. It's the only ballpark in the SEC that doesn't have an ounce of artificial dirt or any artificial surfaces. They have them in the Hunt Center out there, but that's not actually on the field to play. But yeah, we're going to play. We missed you last week though, Clay, and I know we had planned on you not being on for one of the shows, but I'm glad to know that you're up and at 'em and feeling good.
You know, everybody said this COVID stuff, you'll just sail right through it. And said, occasionally there'll be a harder case. Well, I got that one. I couldn't.
Got that one, yeah.
I lost 12 pounds. That's not the way you want to lose weight. I could not take in hardly fluids. I mean, my throat was so bad. You remember the ice maker that I won on the ESPN Arkansas?
The Sonic Ice, yeah.
Yeah. That thing saved my life. Crunching on that
Christmas
ice
gift envy for you
Gatorade.
I was afraid he was going to say it gave him COVID.
No, it saved my life. Yeah, I mean, I fixed me, big Yeti cooler with Gatorade, blue Gatorade. I hate all colors of Gatorade except blue. Cannot do Gatorade. And that crunchy ice, and man, that soothed my throat. Y'all don't want to hear all this stuff.
Well, I'm glad you're feeling better, Clay.
Yeah, I'm on the mend, and then Jean Ann got it.
Was that y'all's first bout?
Oh, yeah. Neither one of us had anything.
Man,
We'd taken all the boosters. Yeah. So, and, we were supposed to go to our Christmas present from her daughter, Sarah, was Blake Shelton concert tickets at, in North Little Rock Thursday night. Well, that was when she tested positive Thursday morning. I was on the mend. We'd talked about maybe, I'd go and wear a mask or something. I don't know. But then she tested positive, and we just, we forwarded those tickets to our nephew in Cabot, and he went with his wife.
So did you have any voice left to scream at the top of your lungs during the win over Kansas?
Well, my voice was just coming back by that point. And it's one of those deals Jean Ann was, I think she was enjoying that I couldn't talk. She calls me the mouth of the South sometimes.
That's another wrestler's name right there. Yeah,
I was subdued, but it was a couple of fist pumps. Yeah, got to be proud of those guys. I mean, that was a big victory, and you can say there's a bigger one. There's a bigger one. If it's a Final Four victory or a national championship victory, that's better than this. And Elite Eight victories, get you in the Final Four. They're pretty large, but to beat the number one seed Gonzaga last year and then turn around and do it again. I kind of coupled those two games together, beating the number one seed in the West Regional and the I guess that was the Sweet 16. And then to beat Kansas when they're the defending national champs with all they have done, and they had the dominant crowd in the arena. Pretty sweet.
Yeah, it really was pretty sweet. And nothing can take that away, too. You know, I mean, now you want to, of course, you want to win over UConn and hopefully whomever it is after that you can make it into the Final Four, but you will always have that game. Like, it feels like that game, the Kansas game, it's got a seminal quality to it. You know, and even if there are other moments where you got a Razorback player or coach that's on camera and you see the genuine tears that we saw, like from Devo, that moment of Devo on camera feels kind of, I mean, Grant Hall referred to it as seminal moment between coaches and players, but man, it's like I think everybody in the state reached for a tissue at that moment. Everybody.
Yeah. Well, I think part of it, Phil, goes to what we think of Devo, and Devo sometimes makes reckless plays. I mean, let's be honest. He's not perfect, but he doesn't ever play with a lack of heart and effort and heart. Boy, we can go a long ways with those type guys, can't we, Matt Jones?
Well, he wears his heart on his sleeve, and I think he's misunderstood a little bit. You know, people don't know how to take him, but I'm with you, Clay. He's out there fighting and scrapping, and you saw that him and his coach, there's one mission, and they're both on the same page.
Yeah, I did something. I think it was after his freshman year, maybe between his freshman and sophomore year. I interviewed Pat Foster and Jim Counts, who. You know, Pat helped recruit Sydney, and then was on Eddie Sutton's staff, Sidney Moncrief, and and Jimmy was a teammate. Was with the triplets. And do you see some of Devo? See some of Sidney Moncrief and Devo, and you do, and it's those moments when a big play needs to be made. Sidney made them all, and if there's a ball loose on the floor or a long rebound, you see Devo just sailing past guys. I mean, he goes past players that you think are in better, sometimes teammates.
Well, and it's contagious,
better position.
Clay.
Yeah, and then it is contagious.
You see Jordan Walsh being the first there. You see how fast Ricky Council, when he got that ball when Jordan Walsh tipped it back to him, how fast he was at the rim again.
Yeah, it's pretty.
It was wild.
Yeah, it is pretty incredible.
Heck, sometimes I feel like Devo's moving a little too fast for his teammates. Remember
he does.
He ran into Makai Mitchell.
Yeah, he does.
In the A&M game the week before.
Right.
But man, I mean, he's creative. He finds way. He's so creative in the lane on the fly.
He's played a lot of minutes, Phil. Like, I talk about quarterbacks getting reps. He's got a lot of reps. He's seen a lot of plays. That's why he's a step ahead almost whenever he's really got it going on.
I watched Anthony Peeler play a lot for Missouri, and he was a 6'3" guard that was left-handed and crafty, and was more of a scorer than Devo. Devo more of a defensive player. But I always thought Peeler had an advantage in reaction plays in the lane and finishing, because no matter how hard you scout somebody, your intuition is that he's right-handed. It is hard to play left-handers, and just like it's hard to bat against left-handers, just because you do not see them as much.
Yeah, it's a different look.
And then Devo, he'll finish in some spots with his left, and you think, well, he's going to finish with his left, but the defense didn't know it because they just don't play him enough.
Was Anthony Peeler there with Nick Van Exel? He's another lefty. With the Lakers together, it was Exel right after Eddie Jones and Nick. Because I remember Anthony Peeler.
They were pretty close to the same time.
Yeah, yeah.
Those were the Laker teams that never quite made it.
Dude, I love some Nick Van Exel. It's something about Jalen Rose, Lamar Odom, Nick Van. I mean, the left-handed flu, James Harden. Like, it's just like you're saying, Clay. Man.
So Gail Goodrich was kind of the ultimate Laker lefty. And the same thing. The way he finished around the rim just discombobulated people. Yeah.
Guys, we've got a couple callers on hold. Let's take these calls. 877-377-6963. Ryan in Hot Springs, you're up first. Hey, Ryan, how are you?
Oh, I'm pretty good. My first thought whenever I saw Devo and whenever he was talking with that lady reporter, first thing I thought is, man, you don't get much more Arkansas than Devo Davis. Just the way he wears his heart on his shoulder and the way he fights for this state. It just definitely made me proud. I hope he's really building his resume to maybe give himself a shot at the NBA. I don't know if he will or not, but I sure hope he gets that shot because, man, I'll say this: he's got to be one of the best defenders in the country right now. But I actually had two questions for you. I was curious about the baseball field. How often do they have to cut the grass, and what do they cut it with? And then the last thing I had a trivia question for you. You may know this, but did you know that the female actress that plays LaRusso's daughter is actually from Pine Bluff?
No, I had no idea.
We're
talking Cobra Kai here, right?
Yes, sir.
I did not know that.
Yes, sir. Yeah, I did not know that until the other day. I thought I'd share that with you. But
okay.
I hope y'all have a great day, and I was just curious about the baseball field. I hope y'all have a great day, and
sure.
Go Hogs.
Sure, Ryan, appreciate it. You know, it's interesting. For as many years as I've worked at baseball fields, never gotten on any of the riding mowers to mow the field.
Missing out.
Those are greens mowers. They're very sophisticated, hydraulic. I believe they're Toros.
And I think they cut the grass every day.
Every day.
I'm pretty sure.
Every day.
You got to keep that thing a certain level.
Yeah,
it
and
takes a lot of effort.
That's why
you see those guys out there replacing divots after games, and then they mow it.
That's right. All right, let's go to Charlie. Hey, Charlie. Appreciate you being on hold. How you doing, man?
I'm great. Clay, I want to tell you I'm glad you're feeling better. I hope your wife is doing better, too.
She's much better. Thank you. Thank you, Tuna.
Definitely a tough thing to deal with, man. I get it. But I tell you this, and I know a lot of people have their opinions on it. You took all the shots that might have also kept you from being, in the emergency room or in the hospital. So I'm glad you're getting better. And,
yep.
Anyway, I want to throw a theory out there on Devo that I kind of thought about yesterday, and you guys were talking about it. And I think another reason why fans have this kind of love-hate relationship with him somewhat, in some way, he's kind of old school the way he plays, Matt. I mean, you think about guys that, he's a little flashy, but I'm talking about with his defense and, people on Twitter want him to be the leader. They want him to be that. And they relate that to scoring 15 and 20 points every game. And the problem with that is that's not necessarily Devo. They try to make Devo out to be something that he's not. I don't think he went into that game. Like y'all said yesterday, Matt, I think you mentioned this. He didn't go to that game the other day thinking that he was going to score that many points, but it became, you know what, this is what we got to do, and I'm hot right now, and nobody else has it going, and he
kind of took over. Yeah.
Yes, in the moment.
Mm-hmm.
And I think he's an in-the-moment kind of guy where, and I think this thing with fans is it's like they all want him to be something that he's not. And at the end of the day, the thing with Devo, he needs to continue to be who he is because there's a guy in the NBA by the name of Patrick Beverly who has made a lot of money being a defensive stopper. And you can make money on the NBA level being that kind of player. So people just need to shut up. You don't have to be a guy that, averages 20 every night to be a great player in college basketball. You don't. And I get it. He does make reckless plays every now and then. And it all makes us scratch our heads, but, they all do. There's no perfect player out there. And, that game Saturday, you're right, Phil. It's just something that I'll never forget as a fan. It's just one of those games that kind of, it sticks in your head. And they may lose to UConn Thursday. I don't know, but I'll never forget that. I mean, it's just that moment. And then
Charlie,
I think
there's
Devo,
an aspect of Devo that I really appreciate, and I think it goes to also, why people connect with him and why there's also this, two-way feeling about him every once in a while is because he's fearless, and that might come across every once in a while as being reckless. And I mean, when you turn the ball over occasionally, there's a reckless turnover. It's a sport. It's a game, man. I mean, it's like those things will happen. But I don't want him to change anything about the way that he approaches the sport or the way that he views himself.
No doubt about it.
Because that fearlessness also leads to him taking the bull by the horns when this team needed him to on Saturday. For all of the time that we spent, and I'm one of them. When you see Devo take a three previously, like before he started, that shot became something that felt more dependable in January. No. And now his fearlessness of taking not just a three but a deep three actually turns into a positive thing. I don't want him to change what makes him who he is. And I think on the basketball floor, he's fearless. And this team they certainly followed him on Saturday.
Well, Phil, I also wanted to ask you, is there something about let's take away like the postseason and then say the regular season. There is a difference, and Matt, you played. There's just some guys that in big moments they play different, and I think Devo is one of those guys. I mean, we talked about James Harden not producing in the playoffs throughout his career at times, or Chris Paul in the NBA, but there just are some guys that when the lights are on, that they just I don't know they just block everything else, and it's them in the goal, and they play their best ball, whether it be football, basketball, whatever. I think there is a thing to that. I wonder if you agree with that, Matt. I'll hang up and listen.
Yeah,
Thanks, Charlie.
We actually I wrote that down watching the game. It seemed like this team all year, the bigger the moment, the bigger the game, the better they play, and they turned it up to 11. I know we joked about that yesterday, Phil, but there are certain players they just want to go play, and to me, I put it as he's a gym rat. Coach Nutt used to say, "Who are my gym rats?" So who's on there when the lights are off? Who just wants to go to the gym? Who's always in the gym? Who's
the guy that turns the lights on?
That's
in the
what I
gym?
mean. Devo is that guy, and so if you're that guy, you usually make better plays in bigger games. It's just how it is.
Yeah, I think there's also just a matter of a guy's clutch, and I've seen relief pitchers that you put him in like Matt Cronin. You put him in a situation when it's 8-1. He might give up 2 home runs.
Yeah, he's not focused as much, huh?
But when it's 3-2 and he comes in and there's a runner on second and there's no outs, man, he throws nothing but just BBs, seeds. What do they call them? You just can't hit them. And why is he like that in that situation? But when he's got a lead, he's just throwing strikes and trying to, I don't know. They're just guys that are clutch.
Well, it's like thrill seekers, people that live on the edge that sort of thirst for that. You can't change that about them, and sometimes that means that they perform incredibly well at moments.
And back to their wall, back to the wall.
If Devo Davis was a baseball player, I think he'd be a closer. I think he'd pitch the 8th and the 9th inning.
And bat leadoff. Yeah.
And bat leadoff.
Yeah.
I'd like to see that sucker on the base.
That's what I mean. You'd get him on first. I bet he's still a base.
Absolutely. Take him 5 strides to get from first
Dude,
to third.
his first 2 steps, yeah, he'd be gone, man.
We got to take a break. Got a couple callers on hold. Hey, guys, please hold through the break because we're right up against it. But there's plenty of time to talk with all of our listeners. Read your texts because they're all coming in. 877-377-6963. Brought to you by Roller Funeral Homes, best of the best for 23 consecutive years. In the Democrat Gazette readership poll, generations of families have recognized the roller difference, and they know when they call in Roller and Renata Jenkins-Byler, they will receive all their respect. Go to rollerfuneralhomes.com for more information. More halftime after this.
Because I'm free, nothing's worrying me.
Would your bracket be better than Matt Jones, Derek Ruskin, and the rest of the ESPN Arkansas team? Sign up for the HitThatLine.com Bracket Challenge presented by Buffalo Wild Wings, A10 Billiards and Bowling in Fort Smith, Wheels RV in Springdale, and Shelter Insurance agent Chris Dooley. Just find the contest on HitThatLine.com. The HitThatLine.com Bracket Challenge is also brought to you in part by High Tech Truck and Refrigeration in Van Buren, the Grease Pig Lube and Tune in Fayetteville, and Crane Used Car Supercenter in Fort Smith. Sign up today at HitThatLine.com.
Harry Robinson Salisol Ford wants to buy or trade for your vehicle today, and they will give you top dollar. Pre-owned car values are at historic all-time highs, and your car today is worth more than it ever will be again. If you are driving a 2013 model or newer with 120,000 miles or less, bring it to Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, and they'll give you more than any other dealer. Even if you don't want to buy a new car, they'll still buy yours. Harry Robinson Salisol Ford, 1 mile south of exit 308 off I-40 in Salisol.
The horrible internet days in Charleston are now over. Fast, reliable internet from Wave Rural Connect, now available to those in the city limits of Charleston. Get amazing gigabit internet, TV, and phone services from Wave Rural Connect. And don't forget about the new Wave Connect app for the ultimate experience. Order online at signup.waveruralconnect.com or call us at 1-833-492-8372. Arkansas Valley Electric and Wave Rural Connect, changing the communities we serve.
Get the best value, service, and TV locally with personal service from WOW World of Wireless, your neighborhood professional Dish authorized retailer. Stop in and ask us about the Hopper 3, Dish's most advanced DVR that delivers a premium viewing experience. Tired of running out of DVR space? With the Hopper 3, you can record up to 2,000 hours of your favorite programming and watch your very own favorite channels and DVR recordings anywhere you go on your phone or tablet. Call now. WOW World of Wireless, 877-305-DISH. That's 877-305-3474 for more details, or online at shopwownow.com. World of Wireless is located at 601 Church Street in Barling, next to Frank Rowe Furniture. That's 601 Church Street in Barling. Come see us at our new location.
Monthly equipment fees and other restrictions apply. Recording hours vary. 2,000 hours based on SD programming. Remote viewing requires internet connection and compatible mobile device.
Wheeler Power Sports has their showroom packed to help you jumpstart your spring adventures. Off-road accessories such as sound bars, light bars, roofs, windshield, wheel, tire kits, and more. Looking for a new off-road or street vehicle? They are loaded with Polaris, Kawasaki, Suzuki, Kimco, and KO units. Give them a call at 479-783-5822. Online at WheelerPowersports.com. Wheeler Power Sports, keeping the good times rolling since 1967.
For a dependable, fuel-efficient tractor from a company committed to the future, choose a Branson tractor. Each of our tractors is backed by a 6-year limited warranty with models available ranging in horsepower from 22 to 58. You are sure to find the tractor that is right for you. Make sure you call or stop in today at the new location for Bush Tractor at 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Again, that is 6100 South 0 Street in Fort Smith. Or you can check them out online at bushtractor.com.
Springtime is around the corner and tax rebates are here, and River Valley Truck Outfitters is ready to help you get your vehicle looking good. Window tints, bed covers, and more. Steps from Power Step to black and chrome lifts and level kits. River Valley Truck Outfitters will get your vehicle looking good on Highway 71 at the top of Rye Hill, where you can get your special wheels, tires, and more. Your number one stop truck accessory store, 648-8855. That's 648-8855.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Listen to the rhythm of the falling rain, telling me just what a fool I've been. I wish that it would go and let me cry in vain, and let me be alone again. The only girl I care about is gone away, looking for a brand new start. But little does she know that when she left that day, along with her she took my heart.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
All right, we have a couple of callers who held through the break, so let's get right to them. Which means Eduardo is leading off. Eduardo, leadoff batters usually take a couple of pitches. You can't swing for the fences on the first pitch. So what do you think? Can you take, or are you swinging away?
Well, I'm going to swing away today the best I can, sir. I tell you what. Last week I started, when you talk about going down memory lane, and it just stirred up in me. And I listened to Coach Muss's post game after we won against Kansas. I said the other day, biggest win he's ever been a part of. Well, let me say this. Coach Musselman, yes, it was, sir. And these players have stepped up in the moment when it counted most. And hats off to you and hats off to these players because they believe in themselves. This is, again, our team, our program has won many games, and what a ride it's been over the years. I hope it's another big ride. I hope they take our fan base, for the younger fan base, enjoy the moment. Just embrace it. Not easy to go to a Sweet 16. Not easy to face a team like UConn. What did I see in just 1999? The beast of the Northeast. I think you have to call them that. 4 national championships. but we won a national championship ourselves and almost won 2 in the 90s. So I'm looking for a great match. I think we're going to win because, again, I'll leave you with this. I think it's worth saying. I think America, they love the underdog. They love tenacity. And so that's what America's built on. And this team, you know, they didn't cry when they lost 2 starters. You know, how would Alabama be without Brandon Miller? I wonder what kind of season UConn would have had without the big guy, Sanago. And we lost 2. And here we are, just, you know, a game away from a Final 8. Just take that in for a minute. So when I say tenacity, I'll leave you with that great poem, but I think it's worth saying. Tupac Shakur said the rose that blew from the concrete, and that just means simply this. If you're listening today, even though you faced obstacles, you can accomplish, individuals or a team can accomplish greatness if they believe in themselves. And I believe this team is starting to believe in themselves. They're showing a lot of tenacity to close out games. And how do you do that? Well, you just seen it on display against a great team in Kansas. What a great program we just beat. And so, whoa, I'm not Ric Flair. I'm not the Nature Boy. I think when Thursday night's over, we're going to be winners and moving on. So, fan base, give a big woo to Coach Musselman. Give a big woo for Devo Davis and for Nick Smith. Let me say this, sir. I don't have no doubt what UConn's going to do. They may tag team Devo. And you're going to have an opportunity, young man, to maybe knock down, do whatever you can, sir. Because I have a feeling we're going to need you, and I think you're going to play big. So I'm rooting for you, Nick Smith. So this fan base is rooting for you, and our program is rooting for you. Go out and get it done. Thank you for taking my call.
Eduardo, thank you for listening to our show. That is mighty nice of you and a great phone call. And, man, it was 2.5 minutes before he got his first Ric Flair woo in there. And it was a nice, reasoned, kind of even-keeled phone call for a moment. And, yeah, you knew exactly where it was going. And Jason from Mountain Home just learned that Eddie likes to quote Tupac. Yes, Jason. He's been quoting Tupac on this show for over a year now. So, yeah, who would have thought? Who would have thought? Jesse's in Springdale. He's with us next. Jesse, thanks for holding. How you doing today?
Oh, I'm doing good. I don't know how I'm supposed to follow that guy, but
yeah, well, you're gonna have to figure out a way. Sorry.
Well, I had a couple of things, if that's okay. First, Matt, since you gave us a regular season C-, do you think with the win Saturday we've upgraded to at least a B, maybe a B+ overall?
Yeah, they're all graded differently. Like our regular season, we did what we had to do. We passed the class. We just had to make the tournament, and that's what we did. And yeah, if we get to another Elite Eight, I mean, I think you got to give them an A.
Okay. Second of all, I don't know. I think you guys have probably heard the same grumbling about Nick Smith that I've heard amongst some fans about he's not performing like everybody thought he would. I guess people just assumed, being a projected number 1 overall, that he was supposed to come out and score 40 points every game and, you know, march us into the Final Four or national championship. But I think people really need to lay off that guy. I mean, if for no other reason, he was the first 5-star commit of this class. I don't know that Anthony Black would have committed to us if we didn't already have Nick Smith and Jordan Walsh. So there's that. And then the competition in practice absolutely contributes to the success of the team.
Well, I've seen some of this stuff out there too, Jesse, and it's they're treated some people, and maybe it's a minority, but it's enough people that he's deleted his social media accounts.
What?
Yeah, he deleted his Instagram and his Twitter.
Really?
So I guess a lot of people I guess enough people came at him pretty hard.
Why are they hating? I mean, isn't the object of the game to win? Like
I thought he was really, really the interview I saw in the locker room after the game where he explained that he was going to play a role and that his job was to help this team win. and that he understood exactly, where the offense was coming from. And he basically is like, I'm not going to steal the show. I'm going to be a role player and do what I can, whether it's defense or passing or being a spot-up wing shooter. It's going to be Council and Devo. He basically
he
said
doesn't
that.
have that extra gear right now, Clay.
No, he doesn't. And he knows it.
Yeah.
But I might have had my own questions about whether or not he wanted to come back and play for Arkansas back in January, and motivations. But once he came back, once he suited up and practiced again and started playing, all those questions went to the side because he didn't need to play to go pro. He's playing, I think, out of whatever in the back of his mind. Why is it that he's playing?
Because he loves to be a Razorback.
If it's a commitment to the team for this year, to his teammates, to his coach, and maybe even to himself in a way. You want to be part of something like this. This is going to be the only year he gets a chance.
Right now, they don't need social media accounts. They really don't. After the tournament's over, if they want to go there. But right now, that doesn't need to be their focus, and all it can be is a distraction.
Yeah, that's right.
So I think what he did was probably smart.
I mean, he's an Arkansas kid. He chose to come here to be a Razorback. He could have gone to any program he wanted to, but he chose to stay at home, and he wanted to see us go somewhere. So you got to give him credit for that.
I give him a lot of credit.
Despite what he's actually doing on the court. But as a fan, I just don't know how anybody could go after a current player on the roster on social media.
Yeah,
if you want to have a private conversation with your friends somewhere, say whatever you want, but don't let it get back to these players. I mean, what's that going to do for recruiting if that's what people are expecting out of the fan base?
Okay, I'll tell you how people can do what you just said that you don't understand. It's called alcohol, and it's called lack of common sense.
I also think it's just called social media. I think.
Yeah, but I mean,
the ability to hide behind a moniker or a keyboard and know that you're not going to say that with your own voice or in front of a person. Nobody knows who really is saying those sort of things. And it's the nature of the beast. It's the nature of social media. And
they're trying to say stuff to get a reaction. Look.
No question, Matt. And so that just don't give them the opportunity.
Keep your circle small right now. That's what whenever time the game gets a little more intense or you get deeper in the postseason, man, really keep that circle small and just keep your brothers and your family to. I mean, there's only a certain group of people that are out for this goal and out for this mission, and that's those guys that are in the locker room.
Yeah, let your coach define what your motivation needs to be. He'll do that. He'll give you the right thinking points and focus on that. And there'll be some lack of respect, mottos that he throws to you that can, inspire you or fire you up and bring your team together as brothers. But don't use social media right now. It's just there's too much crap out there.
Hey, I remember a baseball team that around May last year was getting plenty of disrespect from social media, even from legacy media in some cases. Those guys were looking at what was being tweeted and what was being said, and they heard it, and they even pointed out about that, and they still went on a run to Omaha. So it's you can view what you want about certain distractions, this and that. Whatever motivates somebody.
Well, I Phil, I'm with you, man. These guys play unselfish, and Devo didn't set out, I don't think, to score 25. He set out to do whatever it takes to win the game, and that's what I liked about Nick Smith. Whenever he fouled out and Nick came in, who else did you want to bring in? That's exactly who. That was him being healthy enough to bring him in. We'd had to bring in De'Aaron Ford or Pinion or something. Like, you had to bring Nick Smith in, and he knows his role.
I watched Nick. He set his butt down in a defensive guard and stance.
Yeah, he did.
He got after it.
Yeah, he did.
Jesse, appreciate the phone call. Thanks for bringing up the topic. 877-377-6963. If you're going to get with us, a call or a text. Halftime returns after this quick break.
Stolen, my dreams are sensing, my hopes are gone. I'm like a fiend that finally sees all this dope is gone. My nerves are wet, heart beating in my head swollen. Thinking of the G's I'll be holding. Picture me rolling. Can you sing it out?
ESPN Arkansas is live in Vegas at the NCAA tournament. Our coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat. They can enhance your fishery at your favorite dock, lake, and pond at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. The Stadium Shop on Razorback. Sweet 16 gear available now. North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. And Red River Auto Group. Check out their inventory at redriverdodge.com and redriverfordcabot.com.
Vegas, baby!
Joe Klein here for Bet Saracen, Arkansas's favorite sports betting app.
You bet it is, Joe, which means Bet Saracen has everything you're looking for and more right there on your cell phone.
Now everyone can get in the game and follow your favorite team.
And that's right on the money. If putting down a little wager makes your favorite game a little more exciting, we'll go to the app stores and download Bet Saracen. We even got a demo video to show you how to play.
Or find it at betsaracen.com.
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us, 479-452-4808.
Tommy Craft for the Fenceman. If you've always wanted powered automatic gates at your home or business, but you didn't know who to call, let me tell you about the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman does it all. Custom wrought iron installations, automatic gates, even controlled access systems, and lots more. Ask about 18-month, same as cash financing with approved credit. For your custom fence and gate needs, call the Fenceman. 479-782-3936. The Fenceman. He ain't afraid of no work.
CF Moto. At Auto Finders in Adventure, Oklahoma, enjoy 0% interest for 6 months. No payments for 7 months through March 31st on all ATVs, utility, and sports side-by-sides. Auto Finders CF Moto inventory online at autofindersok.com. Auto Finders and Adventure, Oklahoma, where your search ends and adventure begins. CF Moto recreational vehicles are intended for off-road use only and can be dangerous to operate. Review all product manuals, labels, and safety information before operating. Always wear your safety gear and never operate a CF Moto vehicle under the influence of alcohol or drugs. Visit cfmotousa.com for complete training and safety guidelines.
Hey, this is Chad Warner, product manager for Booyah Bait Company in Fort Smith, Arkansas. The hottest swim jig on the Arkansas River right now is the Booyah Mobster. It was designed by the Muddy Water Mob, a bunch of river rats from Arkansas and Oklahoma, and it's winning tournaments on Dardanelle and Kerr like clockwork. If you're fishing submerged vegetation, water willow, lily pads, you need a Booyah Mobster to reel them in. Available at lurenet.com and tackle stores throughout Arkansas and Oklahoma, the Booyah Mobster.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Riley Farm Dental, at the entrance to Riley Farms, provides every type of dental care and procedures for you and your family. General dentistry, braces, implants, and cosmetics. Drs. Sparkman, Nanda, and Farmer give all of their patients better lives with a better smile, more confident, and a comfortable experience every time. Riley Farm Dental, 5901 Riley Park Drive, Suite A, at the entrance to Riley Farms. Call 226-3500 for an appointment or visit RileyFarmDental.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Last night we rode a Bronx in Seattle, and me and Bill packed the car in the pouring rain. Witch and John was at the beer stand getting sprung, but we
got 'em gathered and hit the road again. Chewing snooze and spitting in a bottle. With country music blasting off the radio. Talking girls and broncs and gold belt buckles. Rolling south to a California rodeo. Just rolling down that great American highway, with the morning sky lit up like a flame. Chasing dreams and following a rainbow, like children running through the rain.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Well, we ride our broncs and we all win a little.
For the folks who want to know if there's baseball today, Paul Walker, they just removed the tarp. And SEMO's players are popping up in the third base dugout. So everybody's planning on a game. It has stopped raining in Fayetteville for the time being, hopefully for the rest of the day. Hogballer is on hold. Hey, Hogballer, thanks for the phone call. How are you?
How y'all guys doing?
Great. Great day.
Hey, a couple of things I wanted to touch on. I think with Devo, the one thing that, kind of grabs everybody's attention is how humble he is. During the press conference after the game, one of the reporters asked him from ESPN, did you mean to take over the game and score 20-something points, blah, 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 blah. And he didn't do like most NBA players would do, like, oh, I decided I was going to take over the game, blah, 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 blah. He literally started saying, well, it was everybody. This person did this. This person did this. And I started chuckling because you could hear Ricky Council beside him going, no, he took the game over. He took the game over.
Yes, he did, and it was fun to watch. But you're exactly right. He is a reluctant star. I mean, he doesn't necessarily want the spotlight, but when it was time to do it, man, he took over. It was fun.
I love his attitude. His attitude is absolutely amazing. The stuff with Nick Smith after the game, I can understand kids and young adults getting on Twitter and saying stuff because, it's crap on Twitter most of the time anyway. But I'm not going to mention any names because I don't want to throw anybody under the bus, but there is media people that made comments that pretty much sicked the wolves on him after the game. There was a comment made about Eric Musselman about how everyone said that Eric Musselman and the team was doing so awful. And then he said, no, Eric Musselman is the only coach that could have got this team where they're at with all the drama going on in the background. I hope they write a book about all the stuff that's happened this year. Mm-hmm. And that indirectly pointed out Nick Smith, and that's when he started getting all the stuff on Twitter. And my whole standpoint on it was that was probably the most unprofessional thing you could have ever done.
I don't know.
And that's all I got, guys.
I don't know who sent the tweet, but I seem to remember seeing something about, something to that degree out there. But, people will tweet what they're going to tweet, and as far as media members are concerned, some people have a sense of what they think they know, is going on inside the team or inside the program, and others just sort of fake it. So I think in this case,
they sometimes want everybody to think they know.
877-377-6963. You're going to look in the idea of if it was a soap opera. There were some things that we kind of guessed on something might have happened at the Maui Invitational. We might have guessed on what's happening with Nick Smith. I don't know about the other sort of dramas that might have gone on in the back there. Anyway, 877-377-6963. Nick Smith and Anthony Black, so much raw talent. Can't blame them for going pro if the money's there, according to Mike and Fort Smith. Well, that's the truth. That's the truth.
Yeah, but see, the difference is if you're a first-round guy, you're not on a two-way contract. You know, when the money's guaranteed. If you're a second-round guy, it would behoove you to stay in college to get NIL money because you're a two-way contract is not your guaranteed money. You know, it's like be like the practice squad in the NFL. You know, that's a big gap.
You got to make the team.
Yeah, from rookie salary to practice squad, that's an 85% gap.
Devo's a I'd like who was it that called recently that brought up
Patrick Beverly
and how Devo maybe can be a little bit of the same style player. We touched on it a little bit yesterday.
You think they're about the same size? That's what I wonder. How are they both about 6'2", 180? They're both about the same, built about
Devo's
the same.
A little taller, isn't he? Like 6'4"?
Okay.
Yeah, I think he's 6'3".
I don't know what they're.
Yeah, he's not. They're similar size.
Yeah.
And both of them have athletic ability. And both of them play with a lot of heart, a lot of swagger. But I don't ever see Devo as being somebody that's gonna his goal in every game is to get into other guys' head and throw him out just by the things that he does, hard fouls, that kind of stuff. I think he's I see him pat guys on the butt and from the other team, and look like he respects the players that he's out there with. And I don't ever see anybody really The only time I ever see him upset is with officials.
When we're down 7, right? Yeah.
Yep.
That was but he's a competitor, man. I think he's a guy that just wants to go play. He's like, when are we playing? I'll be there. Like he just wants to go play.
Oh, and you're gonna have to tell him the game's over.
Right.
It's not gonna be over with him until somebody says, "Hey, we're done."
I'll tell you what's almost over, the second hour of halftime. Stay with us. We'll wrap up that second hour after this.
It's not too late to whip it good. When a good time turns around, you must whip it. You will never live it down unless you whip it. No one gets away until they whip it. I say whip it. Whip it good. I say whip it. Whip it good.
The inventory liquidation event, Thursday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Harry Robinson has combined all of their used cars onto one lot for 5 days only. Over 500 vehicles deeply discounted. Multiple lenders and appraisers are on site. If you've been turned down elsewhere, Harry will get you financed. Cars as low as $49.95. No payments for 90 days. And nobody will pay you more for your trade. The inventory liquidation event, Thursday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements, plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Late breaking news. Central Hydraulics has teamed up with Wacker Neuson to meet your ever-growing equipment needs. Wacker Neuson offers loaders, excavators, skid steers, telehandlers, and more. Central Hydraulics is also your Gates Hydraulic Hose Center. Stop by today at 6104 Highway 271 South in Fort Smith. Central Hydraulics, helping you move the world.
Watch every Hog game this season at Joe's Grill and Cantina, your home for half-price apps and taps during every Hog game. With TVs all around the restaurant, you'll have a front row seat for all the action. Half-price appetizers like Joe's Sampler Platter, Ballpark Nachos, 10-layer dip, brisket nachos, and Mexican pizza. And ask about Joe's tailgate packages to make your football experience even better in the comfort of your home. Half-price apps and taps for every Hog game at Joe's Grill and Cantina, 3400 South 74th Street, across from Harps.
Gray Steel Structures Incorporated is a family-owned business based in Greenwood specializing in steel structures. Owner Will Gray has 20 years experience doing the job right and making sure you're satisfied with the structure you have a need for. Gray Steel Structures serves both commercial and residential customers. Whatever your need may be, mini storage, RV storage, home workshop, or any metal building need, make Gray Steel Structures your first call. Gray Steel Structures, 252-2783. That's 252-2783.
GraySteelStructuresInc.com. That's Gray with an A.
Shop Meadows Lumber True Value for great bargains of the month. Keep your home's pipes running smoothly with Zep's 64-ounce 10-minute hair clog remover for only $6.99. Give your plants the food they need with Green Thumb's Moisture Mix for just $3.49. Need a new garden hose? Green Thumb's Never Kink garden hose is now $25.99. That's a $10 savings. Complete your gardening kit with your choice of Fiskars, Bypass Lopper, or Hedge Shears for just $22.99 for a savings of $13. It's always good to keep some WD-40 on hand. Snag a 12-ounce can for only $7.49. Meadows Lumber, True Value.
The cold and flu seasons are here, and Law's Drugstore has what you need to safely care for you and your family. Law's Drugstore can fill and refill your prescriptions, and they have all the over-the-counter cold and flu remedies to provide comfort. Call 452-6116 and ask about vaccine shot appointments for shingles, pneumonia, COVID, and whooping cough. Law's Drugstore, 6802 Rogers Avenue behind Outback Steakhouse. Law's Drugstore, open 6 days a week to safely care for you and your family.
The Links at Chaffee Crossing prides itself in providing award-winning barbecue. Whether you're craving ribs, pork, brisket, or chicken, we can satisfy any appetite. Stop in and watch the games and enjoy food and drink specials. And don't forget to ask about creating your own bracket for March Madness. The Links at Chaffee Crossing is here and ready to serve you the best barbecue in the River Valley. The Links at Chaffee Crossing next to Deer Trails Golf Course. Come see us.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Hey, it's getting near dawn. Close the tired eyes. I'll soon be with you, my love. Give you my dawn surprise. I'll be with you, darling, soon. I'll be with you when the stars start falling.
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
I'm getting hungry. It's almost snack time here in the radio booth. I got to cut out at 1:30, guys, to go talk with Dave Van Horn. But the real reason I got to cut out at 1:30 is to go down to the crossroads of the clubhouse and the dugout at Baum Walker and get some in-game snacks from our little stand there that the players get to choose from. You know, that's where I always get my daily Uncrustable
your
sandwich.
Vitamins and minerals.
And your applesauce pouch.
And my applesauce pouch, that's right. Got to eat lunch like a
Does it change based on the weather, Phil, or do you kind of stick with the same thing?
Yeah, and where do you put your mat down before nap time?
Is it red and blue?
I have a bib that I put on, actually, before I eat that Uncrustable. Or as Bubba calls them...
The Crustable.
Crustables, yes.
Exact opposite of what
we
it is.
got to shorten it down, though. Uncrustables is too long to say.
They probably have fruit there that you could grab, too, don't you? But you don't get the fruit.
There might be a banana down there. I've grabbed
No
a
apples?
banana. I mean, there's applesauce. That's fruit, isn't it?
No little cuties, no little bitty oranges.
No little cuties. There are beet chews. Beet chews actually are pretty good.
What is that?
I don't even know what that is.
It's like a Dwight Schrute.
It's a.
Is that like what? Is that like what Kevin Copps used to eat?
Farms.
Yeah.
Well, it's probably just it's got to be sweetened beet juice distilled into cubular form. Is that a word? Cubular? It should be. And they're good. They're really good. Like the beet juice, when Kevin, made beet juice popular across the state, that stuff wasn't any good.
Nasty.
These beet chews, now that's some stuff. That's actually really good. Well, and you know what they don't have in the dugout that Bubba brought that we ate them all for the last game on Sunday? Peeps. Marshmallow Peeps.
Marshmallow Peeps.
That's what I
You
need.
can get them for almost nothing at Walmart right now.
Well, I love the Easter candies, and I don't even celebrate Easter. I love the cream eggs, man. You know how are you guys with the Cadbury cream eggs? Some people think they're disgusting.
Oh, God, I love them.
I go to the Reese's peanut butter eggs.
Yeah. Those Reese's peanut, yeah. Paula J likes the Peeps. I can't do the Peeps. I throw them. I just throw them at people. Yeah,
Peeps,
I use them as target
peanuts.
practice.
That stuff's bad.
Peeps they've gone the direction where they make flavors.
You put them in your Nerf gun and you just go around the stadium. Yeah.
Yeah. Pretty soon you get Peeps broccoli flavored Peeps.
Yeah,
I mean, come on, this is getting a little bit crazy, guys.
It's kind of like Kit Kats. You know, they just whatever they can come up with.
Phil, you and Bubba, aren't y'all into M&Ms?
No, I've given up the M&Ms. 2 or 3 years ago, I gave up the M&Ms.
You don't even.
But that was a thing, right?
No, it was a thing. Yeah, Clay, it was such a thing that it was. There's a law of diminishing returns. It was fun to have the. It was fun to have the superstition and people bring stuff over and drop them off on my on my table and everything here, but I started to run out of space to store. Because I didn't eat them all. I didn't eat all of those bags of M&Ms. It was just for show.
Did you mail them to Bobby Bones?
I never got around to it, unfortunately.
The postage would have been too much.
That's somebody you can throw a peep or two at. No more peanut M&Ms. It's just Uncrustable sandwiches and Bubba's,
Now, do they make those in
snacks
just grape jelly? That's all I've ever seen. Do they do a strawberry?
Strawberry tuna.
Peach?
They even have like a ham and cheese crustable.
That's too much.
Man, the peach or apricot.
You start putting meat in there.
See, that's not a Crustable. That's a Hot Pocket.
Mm-hmm.
That's right. It's just of a different form. All right, that's our snack portion of halftime. We'll get into the third hour right after this.
Hi, this is Ricky Smith, head basketball coach for the Northside Lady Bears. I dial 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
This is Northside head basketball coach Eric Burnett. I call 782-8940. That's 782-8940.
Take advantage of York Factory rebates on high-efficiency HVAC products.
782-8940.
Make today more interesting with Betly's online sports betting action. You can bet on pro and college games with Betly, the only online sports book in Arkansas and Tennessee. And right now, every new customer can cash in on a $250 risk-free first bet. Download the Betly Sportsbook app now in the Apple and Google Play Store or visit Betly.com. With Betly, every game matters.
Must be 21 or older and located in Arkansas or Tennessee to bet. Play responsibly. For help quitting, call 800-522-4700.
Burton Pools and Spas has built over 12,000 pools and installed more than 8,000 hot tubs, making the Burton family more than 20,000 members strong. Join the Burton family during our hot tub and swim spa closeout sale. All 2022 models must go. Save up to $3,750 off hot tubs and save up to $7,000 off swim spas with financing available. Stay healthy, have fun, and spend more time together with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. At Burton, we do more than install hot tubs. We build long-term relationships.
Fort Smith's largest used car sale ever this Thursday through Monday at Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Over 500 vehicles are on the lot for this one-time event. Cars as low as $49.95. Bring your trade-in. Multiple appraisers are on site to bid on your car. Over 30 banks on hand to get you financed, even if you've been told no elsewhere, and no payments for 90 days. Plus, state tax paid when you buy this weekend. The inventory liquidation event Thursday through Monday. Harry Robinson Buick GMC. Exit 11 off of I-540 in Fort Smith.
If you are involved in a divorce or custody case, you want an attorney you can trust to guide you through the process. The attorneys at Hickey & Hole Law Partners have over 7 decades of combined experience. Hickey & Hole have seen and heard nearly every scenario you can imagine, ready to put that experience to work for you to get the best results. Visit KevinHickeyLaw.com or give them a call today, 479-434-2414. Hickey & Hole Law Partners. Things are about to get better.
ESPN Arkansas weather.
For today, chance of seeing some showers early. Our high temperatures this afternoon into the low 50s with winds up to near 30 to 35 miles per hour. Chance of seeing showers tonight. Overnight low will drop down mid-40s north, low 50s south, and then cloudy and breezy for Wednesday. Our high in the low 70s. I'm Sally Russell with your forecast on ESPN Arkansas.
When it comes to your auto repairs, call W&W Automotive at 242-1600.
Radio station.
KERX Paris Fort Smith from the Bushlight Studios. This is ESPN 95.3.
Broadcasting on ESPN Arkansas and streaming on hitthatline.com.
We got a good one tonight. You got a team in here that doesn't respect you.
Live from the Bushlight Studios.
Don't ask me if I'm all right. Joaquin said dominate, and we not doing it.
We're going to go get one and celebrate on somebody else's field.
Matt Jones may take it to the house and the dunk.
Phil said you had very motivational words at halftime.
It's halftime with Phil Olsen and Matt Jones. Produced by Matt Travis.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! I'm putting my heart, dog. Let's go, man!
Probably as frustrated as I've been the first half.
Do we believe?
Second half, very happy.
Is vintage Matt Jones.
Hold the rope! Hold the rope! Hold the rope! On three! 1, 2, 3! Turn that down,
Now, here's Phil Olsen and Matt Jones.
Hour number 3 of halftime. Clay Henry's with us. I'm Phil, Matt Jones, Matt Travis. You, if you want to be a part of it, 877-377-6963. The wind has really picked up. My gosh. Our two flags out here at Bone Walker Stadium look like they are starched, blowing up towards the north. So we got southerly winds right now. That's what's going to warm this thing up a little bit as we climb up to a temperature of, 58 degrees in the middle of the night, like at 4 in the morning. So warm it up a little bit, and we deserve it too. We have baseball coming up in 2 hours. Arkansas versus Southeast Missouri, a team that is coached by a former player of Dave Van Horn's at Nebraska, Andy Sawyer's in his 7th year, and Trevor Ezell is the associate head coach and hitting coach for Southeast Missouri. Of course, Trevor was a transfer to Arkansas from SEMO for the 2019 season, played first base for one of the teams that made it to Omaha, and that's become a thing now. You get players out of the OVC transferring to Arkansas nearly one a year now. Cullen Smith was another. This year it's John Bolton, all from OVC schools. And this closes out an 18-game homestand. Man, that's a lot of games to play in a row at home. Even for a program like Arkansas that's going to play the bulk of their games at home, until you're basically forced to go on the road and in conference. It's the longest homestand I've ever been a part of. I've been a part of some road trips that were longer than 18 days. So this is kind of nice to be home. But then the travel starts this week, and we'll learn a lot about this baseball team. Of course, basketball Thursday night. We get another basketball game Friday night with the women's NIT against Texas Tech. So it's great to have both the basketball teams playing this late in the season. Guys, what do we got here? What do we got? Let's look at UConn for a moment here. 27-8 record. Man, that win over Alabama just looks pretty big, even though that was back in November, and teams are quite a bit different right now. But they walloped Alabama 82-67, part of a huge start. Now they stumbled out of the gates to begin the Big East play, but finished really strong.
I think, Phil, going forward, you look at who's now. I'm not taking anything. UConn can win it all. They got studs. Their big guy can go, but if you're looking at this tournament, the tournament for UConn starts this Arkansas game. St. Mary's and Iona didn't have a chance. Like, there was never really much of a worry, or we were the better team the whole time. So this would be how their pressure feels if we can do anything like that. But this would be how fired up they are, because they haven't. Their tournament starts Thursday.
They're playing defensive teams, and those two games were not.
Yeah, they just had the better players.
Defensively.
Yeah.
They're going to get pressure put on them.
Mm-hmm.
They're going to see if their guards can function. And it's how you stop a big man touching the ball is that you force the guard to put his back to the basket. He can't throw it to the big man if he's having to keep the ball from being swiped. and that's what's about to happen.
You have good enough perimeter defenders that make it difficult to throw that entry pass.
Exactly.
It's how spaced out are they? You know, how are they using the passing lanes and the angles, and are they hitting shots?
Well, can they take that pressure and their guards drive it to the hole? That's the
and then our
question.
big guys, you know, how much do you come off? How much do you allow them to pass it? I mean, it's going to be a tough battle.
Yeah, because
you're going to have to play good help defense.
You got to put a body on their two big. They got two big guys. When they take out Sonogo, they bring in another guy that's pretty good size and can play in the paint. They had a lull in January, but if you look at their schedule, those were really good ranked teams that they struggled with. And I was up early. I get up early with the dog now. Before dawn, she usually doesn't make it through the night. And I was watching Get Up, and they had on ESPN they had Jay Billis.
Mm-hmm.
And I respect Jay. I mean, he can be opinionated, but I think he knows his stuff. And he said UConn was a team that could, that had all the pieces for a Final Four run, and they have for the whole season. That they have been a team that you could say this could be a number one seed.
I think this is our toughest game. I know we only led 2 minutes against Kansas, but you look at their bigs and their guards, UConn's just the same thing. Like, they're going to have talent everywhere, just like what Clay's saying. Whenever their starters go out, the guys they bring on the bench, they're 4 stars too.
Yeah, the key is the same in every game. Who gets the other team in foul trouble in the first half?
Mm-hmm.
And Arkansas really confounded Kansas with the way they got their big guys in foul trouble. And I'm going to say this, and it helped Arkansas not to have Bill Self on the bench. I didn't think their coaching staff handled their big guys and let them play to a point to get in foul trouble.
Oh, the best thing that happened was that Kansas big got in foul trouble.
No question.
Yeah.
But they could have gotten him out a little quicker than they did, and that was a gamble that Norm Roberts played, and it backfired, I thought.
Got to keep Kamani on that floor.
Yeah, I think you're onto something there, Phil.
Well, and again, he's not somebody that you're expecting to get 25 minutes, 30 minutes from. But if Kamani's out there, and I would assume he's going to start again. Why not? If he's out there for 18 and 19 minutes, stays out of foul trouble.
He helped set that tone too. The first 4 minutes to that under
he
first
and Walsh
timeout.
They both are guys that defensive toughness and defensive rebounding are just assets. And Kamani is going to scrap for an offensive rebound. I think that it's benefited him to get out of SEC play. And I thought that he kind of was wearing a target, and he'd get fouled so quick. They were like, okay, he's. It's almost like the other coaches said, now you watch in the first 30 seconds, he's going to push somebody twice. And they tag him on those fouls.
Man, this is a team that makes their free throws too. UConn?
UConn does, yeah.
Man, they've got 5 players at 80% or better at the foul line, and Sonogo's 78%.
Yeah, keep him off the foul line.
You want to foul
That's
him,
scary.
but you got to keep him off the you got to keep him off the line. That's for sure. To use those fouls, okay, but use them in certain moments. Don't put this team on the foul line, because if it comes down to free throws, UConn's a better foul shooting team by far than Arkansas is. So be careful with how you're going to use those fouls.
So, Phil, this is a thought I've had all week, and I don't know, maybe it's unfounded, but the concern that I have for this team is when they've had a great victory this year, the next game they don't quite have the same stinger in them.
You're right. They
The
have
Kentucky game was an example.
Back games. That's right. But there's a difference though too, because in a regular season, if you don't put together a good game after a good game, well, you still have another game or however many is left on the schedule that you don't know.
But I thought that they went from the Alabama game to the Tennessee game, and they weren't the same.
Mm-hmm. Well,
that was off of 2 days rest, a late game, early game.
Well, it's 2 days.
Back.
It's longer rest this time. Yeah.
No, I know what you're saying, though. And they're young kids, and I think young kids, emotionally, it's harder to get back up. And I think the tournament, that kind of goes out the window because it is.
Hopefully, yeah.
It's a one and done. Everything's a one and done game.
Well, and you've seen them get up for two of these games so far, so you'd expect that it can happen again. I would always feel like, what happened to A&M? A&M didn't even show up against Penn State. For all the showing up they did in January and February and then in Nashville. They didn't show up in that game. I mean, they didn't even get off the bus.
Yeah, I thought Alabama throttled them, and they weren't the same in the NCAA tournament.
Mm-hmm. Maybe you think that has something to do with it, getting your head handed to them in the championship game?
Yep. I think they put a lot into it, and I think it's playing that many days in a row can affect you. But I don't know. It's just, that they didn't guard Penn State shooters.
Yeah, Penn State
I've
had
never
had
seen
better
so
shooters.
many uncontested three-pointer, and that's what they do. You got to make them put it on the deck and take it to the basket, and they don't do that as well. But they can spot up and shoot it, and that's what A&M. It's like they didn't scout them. Well, Buzz is a good scout. Their coach, their player, it didn't translate for some reason.
Man, I mean, I've seen it happen. I've seen it happen with the women's team here at Arkansas. A team that was playing fairly well going into March makes the NCAA tournament, and then, kind of didn't, like last year, the loss against Utah. I mean, you kind of look as they kind of never got off the bus. It's the way that game sort of played out. The game the year before against Wright State, that was a 4-13 upset. So you never quite know. But by this time, if you've already played 2 good games and you've gotten up for both of them and you beat the number 1 seed in your region, heck, you can get up for this one again and treat it like the biggest game of the year, and then do the same thing all over again on Saturday.
You would hope so. Yep.
You would hope.
How much sweeter that win would be, man? We beat UConn. It'd be that much. It'd just taste that much sweeter.
It's Mermaid Madness all month long at Burton Pools and Spas. You can win a Fantasy Enamour Premier Hot Tub Package valued at $6,250 if you guess how many mermaids are in the hot tub and you're the closest guess to the actual number. The Fantasy Enamour Premier is a 4-person plug-and-play hot tub, has an adjustable waterfall, exterior and interior multicolored lights, a synthetic wood cabinet, there's a built-in ice bucket, and you also get the cover, steps, and startup chemicals along with this. It's going over to Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith, or go to hitthatline.com/mermaidmadness and make your guess in either of those locations. If you go on the website, you'll see a $500 coupon on the entry form. Use that coupon for a new hot tub or an above-ground pool at Burton Pools and Spas in Springdale and Fort Smith, your source for backyard fun. I've got my last segment when halftime's coming back after this quick break.
I kissed that cow down on 34th Mile. He broke my little bottle of love potion number 9.
Will your bracket be better than match?
Video is powered by the pros at Pascal Air Plumbing and Electric. Arkansas owned, Arkansas operated. GoPascal.com.
The Fence Man, the company you can trust when it comes to building quality fencing and gates, is looking for quality people to join the Fence Man team. If you are a fence builder or have building or welding experience, apply in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man offers great pay and a $500 sign-on bonus. Join the top fence building team and get a $500 sign-on bonus. The Fence Man. Apply today in person at 1213 North 32nd Street in Fort Smith. The Fence Man is an equal opportunity employer.
Now that's a dandy white perch. Big old slab. C'est bon, sacalé.
One beautiful crappie.
It's a paper mouse.
Some serious crappie.
Nice speck.
We got crappies.
They might go by different names, but all prefer the same thing. Bobby Garland, America's favorite white perch, slab, sockeye, papermouth, crappie, speck, crappie baits.
I call it dinner.
Remember this top 10 hit from 1983? Boy George, I Think You've Got It. It's Church of the Poison Mind by Culture Club. The culture is continuing to poison the minds of our youth by clubbing them with everything but the truth. But when we heed God's word, He gives us the solution to all the gender confusion. The true poison is believing that evil is good and good is evil. I'm Pastor Eve from Woodland. Think about it.
BetOnline remains your number one source for all your sports betting this season. Everything from the NFL and bowl season to esports. You'll find the latest odds, team matchup info, player news, and game trends at BetOnline. BetOnline features live betting, free contests, and live scores for almost any sport or game imaginable. We're the fastest and easiest way to bet on all your favorite leagues and events. Head to betonline.ag to join and receive a 50% welcome bonus on your first deposit. Make sure to use the promo code BELIEVE to receive your rewards. That's BLEAV. BetOnline, where the game starts.
Hi, I'm Mike Van Jr. with Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. You can count on my team to provide top quality pressure washing and exterior cleaning services for your property.
What all do you service?
Fence washing, gutter, or deep concrete cleaning for your home, commercial business, and more.
Do you have insurance?
Absolutely. We're covered with liability insurance, and we also use safe and effective wash methods, leaving your home or business looking brand new.
I guess I need to go to your website, mjmobilewash.com.
Or just give me a call at 479-763-5561.
Mike Jr.'s Mobile Wash. One call cleans it all. When you stay overnight, you want the accommodations to feel comfortable and feel like home. Well, at Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, you get exactly that. You can check out all their locations at bphotels.com. They have locations in Fayetteville, Bentonville, Little Rock, Jonesboro, Conway, El Dorado, Arkadelphia, North Little Rock, Bryant, Hot Springs, Ardmore, Oklahoma, and coming soon to Kansas City. bphotels.com. Beechwood Pinnacle Hotels, looking forward to serving you in 2023.
Your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game.
ESPN 95.3.
Find Halftime on 99.5 in Northwest Arkansas, 95.3 in Fort Smith and the River Valley, 96.3 in Hot Springs and Central Arkansas, 104.3 in Harrison and Mountain Home, and everywhere on hitthatline.com. Now back to the hosts. Here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Ryan and Prairie Grove asks who's pitching today. Ben Bybee is pitching today for Arkansas. Bybee is 6'6", 235 pounds. He's a freshman, and he's out of Overland Park, Kansas. Of course, where Arkansas just seems to recruit so well in that Kansas City area. And he threw 5 scoreless against UNLV last Wednesday. So, I mean, you've kind of been searching for a midweek starter at times, and I think right now Ben Bybee is your guy. 1-0 record, 7 2/3 innings, 2 runs charged to him for a 235 earned run average. Dave Van Horn said that he's going to play some other guys that I think midweek he might give some other guys who have those proverbial bumps and bruises a day off. So he'll I think there might be some changes.
How is SMS
concerned today?
Is that who they're playing today? Are they?
No, this is SEMO. This is
SEMO.
Southeast
Sorry.
Missouri.
Okay.
Mm-hmm. They're 10-12.
10-12.
10-12. But they got a series sweep over Western Illinois last weekend. So they're playing some pretty good baseball. Jamie Van Buren wants to know about the Hogs RPI being top 5. I don't know, and you don't want to worry about the RPI right now because it'll take care of itself. You keep winning games, and they've got the schedule that they've got this year, and you really don't have many opponents, if any opponents, that will drag the RPI down the way that happened last year. But you win your SEC games, that RPI takes care of itself.
This is my take on it, on what you need to do in the regular season in college baseball. You need to have a winning record in your conference, and then you will host a regional.
Mm-hmm.
If you want to host a super regional, then you need to, compete for a division title, all the way down to the wire. And in the SEC this year, that would do it.
That was the thing from last year. It was a winning conference record, but still went on the road for a regional, and that was because of the poor RPI, which had more to do with the non-conference opponents than anything else.
And, there's that fear of playing the in-state schools with their having a really, really low RPI, and you don't control that. Some of the, ULR has had a decent RPI, then they've had a not so good. But you play UAPB and some of the others, and it'll affect your RPI.
No UAPB for now. You still got UCA, still got Little Rock, still got Arkansas State. But Grambling, you played them for 1 game instead of 2. So that doesn't need to. You don't need to worry about the RPI all that much as far as that's concerned. Just win your games. Ryan wants to worry about going to Baton Rouge this weekend. You got to worry about Southeast Missouri first.
That's what Van Horn said. There's a game today.
Yeah, they have to do that. We don't.
Well,
we
I
can
do,
talk about
that's
LSU.
The next game I'm about to. That's the game I'm about to call here in like an hour.
Yeah, I know, but we can talk about LSU.
Well,
and
LSU's they just seem to have the makeup of a really good team that's got hitters. They brought in some transfers. They have guys that stuck around for a couple years that are really hitting it, but their pitching is top notch. Their Friday night starter, that's going to be.
How do you say his last name? Paul, is it Skeens?
Paul Skeens. Yeah, it was the Air Force transfer.
So he throws 98 to 101, and you think, well, it's probably just straight one and you can pound it. No, he can pitch as well as he can throw hard.
Yeah, nobody's pounded his stuff yet at all.
Nope.
And he's even gone out and completed a game. I think he's allowed. I don't know what. I think his ERA is just a touch over 1, if not a little under 1. But I'm very interested to see that this Arkansas lineup go up against him on Friday. Though I'm not going to be able to watch it. I won't be there for it. That's when the women's NIT game is played. So I'll be at the NIT instead with Arkansas versus Texas Tech. And I guess I could. I don't know. I don't know if I can record that thing or not. So, man, it kind of. I mean, in all honesty, and just to put it out on the show here, that really pulls at my heartstrings to miss that game and miss that series. But when the university's got control over what games you're going to go call, you're going to go call the games they tell you to go call. So that's
it's postseason for the women, and I get it a little bit. These Friday night matchups against these first rounders, and you can say this guy could be a top 10 pick, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have seldom gone according to form. And by that I mean those guys don't usually get decisions, and they don't usually make it out of the 5th inning. Arkansas has done really well against those kind of guys. And whether they're running the pitch count up, they do that sometimes. And then there are other times they hit their fastball on 1-0 and smoke it. And so I'm interested to see what approach do they take. Are they working the pitch count, or do they see something that tips them off to when a fastball is coming and when he's throwing a curve, and they can differentiate and they can hammer that fastball?
Well, that's how they got to Brady Singer a few years ago.
No question.
I've seen games like a Casey Mize from Auburn.
I was going to bring that one up.
He pitched well against the Hogs, but Blaine Knight pitched better, and they won that game. But he pitched like a first rounder. Singer. They knew what was coming.
Yeah, there was really a highly touted matchup between Nick Smith and the Vanderbilt pitcher David Price.
David Price. Yeah.
And that was a Friday night, and you looked around, and there's general managers there. I mean, it's everybody that was anybody in baseball was there to see those guys pitch. Neither one of them got a decision. I mean, they got, knocked out in the third or fourth inning, and, both of them gave up like 5 or 6 runs.
Yeah, you never quite know.
No, you don't.
You never quite know. But I have a feeling it'll be a really great series. And Arkansas has won 3 series in a row over LSU, which has never happened before. I don't even know if they'd won 2 series in a row against LSU. So
Phil, do you think the way the LSU coach played the game last year is the reason why we've got the pitch clock in the way they've done things?
I don't think he is the reason, but I think his style of play or managing is indicative of the reasons that they have the pitch clock, and they're monitoring number of coach visits, and they're monitoring the number of times a batter can step out of the box and all of that. I don't think that the SEC, that these aren't like Jay Johnson rules. It was just 1 year. But
he definitely did it.
He's the kind of coach that they made those rules to try to battle against. There's no doubt about that.
The guy stepping out of the box, the pitcher going behind the mound and having a powwow all by himself. I mean, it was anything to throw off your rhythm.
Yeah. Yeah, I mean, that's the thing that really got Bubba going. It was annoying. It really was annoying. But he's got himself the kind of SEC talent. I don't know. I mean, to me, didn't come across necessarily like an SEC baseball coach, but LSU hired him, so that makes him an SEC baseball coach. I don't usually see SEC head coaches doing too much of that slowdown stuff. Not that gamesmanship too often. Let's see here. Got a phone call, and then I got to head out. We got Nelson and Harrison with us. Hey, Nelson, how you doing?
Hey, guys, I'm doing good. Phil, I tell you, man, it was good last night to be at the women's game and see Ricky Council and Pinion and Ford over there, and then look up and see Kamani and Devo. It was really great. I figured they'd be getting ready to head out, so it was really good to see those guys there. And that game last night, it didn't seem like we had that big of a lead if you just went by the crowd and everything. It just seemed like it was a dogfight, but it was good to see the girls get off, and just take care of that game good, and to get out early and to get to see Dells take care of Alabama in the bottom of the 10th. So,
Nelson.
One more thing, Phil.
Yeah.
One more thing, bud. If you miss the game, just go on the ESPN app, and you can go back and watch on demand. Or even, most any game you can watch on demand, except for NCAA March Madness.
Well, maybe I'll have to do that late Friday night into the wee hours of the morning.
Yep.
Nelson, appreciate you. Thanks for calling. The women's team yesterday ground Stephen F. Austin down to a nub. Really grounded down to a nub. Those girls had the long stare on their faces by the time you got into the late in the third quarter. They didn't quite know what hit them. And that was really cool. I didn't know if Devo was there. I kind of wondered. But those guys, the men's team's been showing up for the women's games all year long. They've been at a lot of the home games. So good to see that they came out to cheer them. Hopefully they're not there Friday, which means that they're still in Las Vegas getting ready for an Elite Eight game. Speaking of getting ready, I got to get ready for baseball. So Matt Jones, Clay Henry, and Matt Travis will take you the rest of the way. And guys, I'll talk with you tomorrow. Thank you so much.
Thanks, Phil.
Thanks, Phil.
You guys have a great rest of the show.
Yeah,
and
break a leg.
I'll talk with, I'll be on the air in about an hour. Till then, halftime's right back.
Can't mean that. Don't you come back. Oh, now, baby, please. Don't you come back. What you trying to do to me?
ESPN Arkansas is live in Vegas at the NCAA tournament. Our coverage is presented by Mossback Fish Habitat. They can enhance your fishery at your favorite dock, lake, and pond at mossbackfishhabitat.com. Mock Legal Solutions. Real advice, reasonable price. The Stadium Shop on Razorback. Sweet 16 gear available now. North Arkansas Regional Medical Center in Harrison, bringing better to you. And Red River Auto Group. Check out their inventory at redriverdodge.com and redriverfordcabot.com.
Vegas, baby!
Wheels RV wants you to seek out all the natural state has to offer this year. Explore Arkansas in a new RV from Grand Design, Forest River, KZ, Heartland, Keystone, or Alliance. All the best brands at the best prices. Enjoy peace of mind with our lifetime warranty on every new RV and a mobile service shuttle to keep you camping. So come on in and discover why Wheels was voted the best RV dealership in Northwest Arkansas. Wheels RV, 5 miles west of exit 72 off of I-49 in Springdale. Seek, explore, discover with Wheels RV.
Advanced Mechanical Performance, your premier UTV, off-road, truck, and Jeep repair facility. Whether it's a lift kit, an oil change, or a complete makeover of your machine, go see Cody and the gang at AMP and get it right the first time. These guys know what they're doing and are doing what they know. Advanced Mechanical Performance, 3201 Wheeler Avenue in Fort Smith. Call them today at 434-4161.
At Southern Tire Mart, we look out for you and your vehicle. Come visit us for America's most trusted brands like Michelin Tires and top-of-the-line service. You can depend on Southern Tire Mart and Michelin Tires to keep you rolling. Come see us at Southern Tire Mart, just off I-540 exit 14 in Fort Smith, for Michelin tires that fit your needs and service that cares for you like family.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Champion Cycling, located at 5500 Mazard Road, is the only locally owned bike shop in Fort Smith and wants to help you find the joy in cycling that has been part of their family for years. Their goal is to find the right bike for you, whether it's a road bike, mountain bike, or just a bike for leisure. Champion Cycling has a great selection of bikes, including brands from Specialized, Pivot, and Look. Whether it's fixing a flat tire or a basic tune-up, their dependable service department is ready to help. Stop by Champion Cycling and they will help you find your joy in cycling.
Checking back in at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my buddy Rocky with me. And, you know, Rocky, if someone's looking for that third row vehicle, you have some brand new third row Explorers that absolutely will turn their heads. They're good-looking vehicles, third row, and you've got several of them to choose from.
Yeah, we've got somewhere in the neighborhood of 15 of these things, either on the ground or in transit. Brand new vehicles as well. Brand new translates to incentives and rebates, something we haven't seen in a long time. And then if Explorers are a little too small, I've even got a couple of new and pre-owned Expeditions here on the lot too.
You know, someone's looking for that, and they're wanting to save some money. Right now on the new Fords, you have some great incentives this month.
Tons of great incentives. Very low interest financing. It's no secret how high interest rates are on pre-owned cars right now. New vehicles can get you out of that situation.
All they got to do is see the rock.
That's it.
There you go. Come by and see my buddy Rocky Pruitt today. Hey, we're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith or online at randallford.com.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Come and I'll take you under this beautiful bruises, colors. Everything fades in time, it's true. Wish that I had another stab at the undercover. Was it a change in mind for you? It's impossible. I can't let it out. You'll never know. Am I
You're listening to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones. Want to jump in the conversation? Call or text into Halftime at 877-377-6963. Now, here's Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back halftime here. Matty T, myself, and Clay Henry. Phil Elson's gone to do the baseball game, get some sound from DVH. They play Southeast, is it Oklahoma, Southeast Missouri? Yeah, there we go. So, be an interesting game. But, man, what a beautiful day. Fun show. Great music, as always, Matty T. And we're going to get into a little golf I want to get into, but let's take this phone call from Sterling first. What's up, Sterling?
Hey, guys. How's it going?
What's up, dude?
Sterling, man.
Yeah, I'm talking to two living legends. Guys, I miss Phil because I don't know if y'all are paying attention to World Baseball Classic, but the championship's tonight.
Yep.
And you have Japan and
the
United States.
I watched that Japan-Mexico game last night.
Yeah, Sterling, I asked Phil earlier on the show if you had the first pick in the draft, and it's Otani. I don't know if I was saying his name right, Clay. You might help me out, but Otani, and then Trout. Who are you taking first?
Oh, between them two, if they current ages, you got to go Otani because he pitches a little too.
Plus, he's younger.
He's younger, yeah.
30 homers, yes, and younger. Guys, I'm pretty excited about that. But this basketball team is I think they can pull it off. It's just going to take. I don't want us to beat ourselves. That's all I ask. If we can have a bad shooting night, but as long as we don't beat ourselves, that's why.
Don't have 19 turnovers.
Yeah, turnovers is a big deal for this team.
Yes, and on this weekend series, but I just hate that this LSU series is coming so early in the season. I like for it to build up, but you don't. I don't make the schedule. So I can't have my cake how I want it. It's not Burger King. So I'm just going to have to get ready for a big basketball weekend and a big baseball weekend and hope that we have a game on Saturday that we have to tune into and hopefully the game should be, I think, what time that baseball Saturday game? Do y'all two know what time that game is? The baseball game on Saturday?
I don't have that schedule in front of me.
Yeah, Phil would know that.
Okay, I was just trying to.
I go one sport at a time. I got
out.
the basketball game Thursday. That's the next one I know about, Sterling.
Oh, the player.
Oh, I'm sorry. Hey, I'm
one
listening.
game at a time.
One game
Sterling,
at a time.
The baseball first pitch is at 1 p.m. Airtime's 12:30.
On Saturday?
On Saturday, yes.
Yep. Okay, there you go.
Oh, so that way I can. That way I don't have to go back and forth or nothing. I can just. The baseball game will surely be before the basketball games. Basketball games won't start till late in the afternoon. So there's good deals. Thank y'all guys for your time. And my final question about this basketball game, what's the one thing that you believe we have to do besides score more than 1 point than them? Y'all guys have a great day.
We like we were talking about. Thanks for the phone call, Sterling. With limiting our turnovers, but the one thing we're gonna have to do is keep the big fella at bay. I mean, Devo can't guard the big guy. That's Devo can take care of the guards, so we're going to have to by committee, I think. And if it's starting Kamani, and then it's bringing on a Mitchell twin, if it's Jordan Walsh playing help side, Ricky Council playing help, knowing the right guys to be able to help side defense off without leaving their shooters open. It's going to have to be a team defensive effort against this UConn team.
Yeah, I think he'll get his, and just like Kentucky with Oscar Shibwe, he's going to get his, but you can't let him control the game. And I think for the last several games, their rebounding has been so good and so effective, and it's been five guys: Anthony Black and Ricky Council and Devo. They're guards, but they'll go get defensive rebounds. Mm-hmm. And what they're doing is pinning their big guy like they did Shibwe. And then the guards go get the ball.
Right.
Put a body on him, and you take him out. You might take yourself out in the process. But you put a body on him where he is not going to control the game.
Yeah, no, our guards are so athletic. You look at that. In that Illinois game, Clay kind of gets lost because of how awesome that Kansas game was. But Ricky had 18 and 10. Devo was 16 and 6. I mean, and then like you said, Black had 6 as well.
Illinois got one offensive rebound, and I think that was technically a team rebound. In other words, a missed free throw on the front of a two-shot foul. Well, you get an offensive rebound, a dead ball rebound. That's the only one they got. They didn't physically get an offensive rebound, and I think that's – there were some numbers in that game that were just bizarre. 4 assists for the winning team has never been done by Arkansas.
And we moved so well. I mean, that our motion offense was so well. That was one of the best I've seen us move against Illinois as far as without the ball, and we had 4 assists.
Yeah, and sometimes you get fouled on a nice pass, and you doesn't count as an assist when you get 2 free throws. But I think the previous low high was 7 in an NCAA tournament game by a winning Arkansas team. So that 4 was really a strange number. And then to completely blank them on the offensive rebounds, that number is I don't think if you're a coach you would even hope for that. That's off the charts good.
If you want to get in here on halftime today, it's 877-377-6963. And Clay, we were talking a little bit in the last segment. They got the match play coming up on this golf going on, and I kind of get into golf when Sawgrass gets here, and then we're about a month or so away from the Masters week.
Oh, less than that. It's like 3 weeks.
Yeah, it's getting ramped up, man. I'm a big golf guy. I know you are too.
Yeah, I mean, golf was my first love, and I still fiddle with it and watch it. And I've always been fascinated by college golf, and have done enough interviews. I've got to know Taylor Moore and his family from watching college golf. Following, and you kind of out at Blessings would watch with the Moores. So Taylor Moore won at Valspar, $1.4 million. He'd won $700,000 the first half of the season, and I think a little over $1 million last year as a tour rookie. And he's set himself up for a great year, and he's in the top 10 in FedEx.
By winning Valspar, Clay, what do you clip out of? What tournaments do you automatically get?
All
to go?
The invitationals.
Yeah.
He's in. Like Jack's tournament. I think he can probably play the British Open as a tour winner.
Mm-hmm.
He's in the Masters, probably in U.S. Open. So all of those things are big. But what's really big is the designated events to start next year. He's going to finish in the top 70 now. I don't think there's any way for him to fall out of the FedEx after winning a tournament. $1.4 million and 550 points. He already had a good start. So that'll put him in all those tournaments, and those tournaments are going to be no-cut tournaments next year. So that will help him with a lot of points, even if he just finishes middle of the pack. And if he does well, those are really, magnified points. But he won against a good field on a great course. Copperhead I've played there. It is a wonderful, difficult course. He won at 10 under, which is a low winning score of those Florida swing tournaments. That's a tough course. And I think that, it's like everything else. It's like when you win a game, Matt, as a starting quarterback at Arkansas in the SEC, that's like what he just did. The next one's
off your
easier.
back. Yeah, no, it's like when we went on the road and beat South Carolina in basketball earlier in the year after we had struggled a little bit. It's like, man, you can just put it to rest. Nobody brings it up anymore, and you don't think about it. And then that feeling. You taste victory, and you want it again.
They were all the cameras are on Jordan Spieth and Tommy Fleetwood and Adam Schenck in those last pairings, and Taylor posted that number. And just think about this. Tommy Fleetwood has won $15 million, but he's not won a tour event. And Taylor's got that. They can never take it away from him that he's won a tour event. And I love the family. His dad, Rod, played center field for Norm. His mother was a U of A cheerleader. They go to every game they can go, season tickets in football. They go to basketball. I get texts from him when he's upset about officiating in basketball games. He's a diehard fan, as Taylor is. So, just kind of did my heart good to see him win.
Yeah, and Tommy Fleetwood, man, I think he's represented the country in the Olympics. He's a really good golfer.
Oh,
that's a crazy stat. Yeah,
he's the best player that hadn't won yet. That's the
the next one. Yeah,
that's the it's every story about when he's in contention. Fleetwood, the richest player not to win a PGA Tour tournament. I mean, it's in there every time. And I'm sure it burns him at this point.
Did you see? So we got it's the match play coming up, and I was looking at some of the first round matchups, and John Rahm versus Ricky Fowler. I mean, that would be a fun group right there to follow around.
And Fowler's really elevated his game, and he's a good putter. But I mean, John Rahm is
he's
you can
powerful,
say Scotty
man.
Scheffler's number one, but Rahm's already won 3 times this year, so you have to say that Fowler's decided underdog, but it's that tournament's a lot of fun. They're this is the last year that they've got the match play.
I didn't know that.
Yeah, that's the last. It's fallen off the schedule. I think they'll probably find one eventually, somebody that wants to do the match play, but it's not a popular event because you can have all the top stars go out in the first 3 rounds. In the pool play, only 2 are going to advance out of every foursome, and all at once you're playing on Saturday and Sunday, and you don't have John Rahm and Scotty Scheffler and Jordan Spieth. They've all
McIlroy,
lost.
Jason Day,
and they don't have much of the walk-up gate, and so the sponsors do not like the match play. Dell has sponsored that in Austin for several years. That's their headquarters. So. But they're going away from that event next year.
Yeah, golf is it's ever changing. Golf's never going to be the same, especially with the Live Golf Tour coming in. So it'd be interesting. But I did see they're going to let them play the majors. I don't know what your thoughts are on that.
Well, they really don't have a way to stop them from playing the majors because they're not PGA Tour events.
See, I didn't know that. Okay.
So they count for points on the PGA Tour, but the Masters is run by Augusta National. It's invitational. The U.S. Open is run by the USGA. The PGA is run by PGA America, which is the club pros. It's not the PGA Tour. And then the British Open is run by
RBC,
the Royal and Ancient.
Yeah.
RNA.
RNA.
So they don't have, as far as that goes, the PGA Tour would not have any ability to stop them from playing. And now, but what will happen is that these Live guys are not going to get rating points, and eventually they're going to fall down the list on the world money rankings or the world point rankings. It's not money, it's points. And then they'll be starting to fall off on some of the criteria that the majors use. But, if you're the British Open champion, you're going to be in all the majors for 5 years.
Exactly.
So
it's pretty cool.
Yeah. So those guys that have won, and I think if Phil Mickelson wants to play in the PGA, he's going to play in the PGA. They're not going to stop him. PGA of America, he's won it. He didn't come and defend his title last year because of Live, but I think he'll be able to play. He doesn't have. I don't believe he's won the U.S. Open, so that one. But he's got a bunch of Masters titles. He's always going to be able to play in the Masters because former champions play there. So there's events that those guys has made as former major winners. Dustin Johnson's always going to play the Masters because he's a former winner. So there's some of that will
it's interesting.
Get the Live players in majors.
It's going to be fun to watch, and just like Phil has one more major to win, we have one more segment left here today on Halftime coming up. 877-377-6963 if you want to get in here with us.
What do you get when you pull into Tony's Tire Service? You get the best selection of tires for any car, truck, or commercial vehicle. Tony's Tire Service has Cooper tires and is ready to serve you to get you back on the road safely. They'll also get your vehicle fixed with brake replacements plus an alignment with the best repair guy in the area. Tony's Tire Service has been serving the River Valley for over 34 years. Come let our guys replace your tires with Cooper tires and our service department to make sure the vehicle has the best brakes and alignments. Tony's Tire Service, 7200 South 28th Street in Fort Smith. Service you can depend on.
Burton Pools and Spas has built over 12,000 pools and installed more than 8,000 hot tubs, making the Burton family more than 20,000 members strong. Join the Burton family during our hot tub and swim spa closeout sale. All 2022 models must go. Save up to $37.50 off hot tubs and save up to $7,000 off swim spas with financing available. Stay healthy, have fun, and spend more time together with a hot tub from Burton Pools and Spas. At Burton, we do more than install hot tubs. We build long-term relationships.
Hello, this is Sebastian County Assessor Zach Johnson here to remind everyone to assess your personal property by May 31st to avoid late penalty. You can do this in person at one of our 3 locations, over the phone, or online by going to www.countyservice.net. I'd also like to remind any current homeowners or individuals buying their homes on contract to contact our office and check on your eligibility for the homestead tax credit. Contact us today to see if you qualify.
The homestead tax credit can save you up to $375 off your tax bill.
This ad sponsored by the Sebastian County Assessor.
Coke Zero Sugar tastes so good, people will take a taste any way they can. You never know when your best friend will lunge across a table and grab for it. A stranger could subtly swipe it, or your little brother might just ask for one too many sips. So no matter what you're doing, or who you're with, when you're enjoying a Coke Zero Sugar, be ready to protect it from takers at all times. Because one sip begs the question, is this the best Coke ever? Take a taste and see.
Hi everyone, this is Lisa with Davis Floor Covering. Are you ready to update your home or office and get it looking its best? Whether it's new carpet, hardwood flooring, tile, stone, or luxury vinyl plank, Davis Floor Covering can help you with all your flooring needs. With the best brands such as Bella Sarah Hardwood and JP Mathis Vinyl Plank Flooring. And we even do countertops, so come on in and let's get started. Davis Floor Covering, 3 locations to serve you, Fort Smith, Springdale, and Tahlequah. Or call us, 479-452-4808.
Honey, I found a great new house for us to buy. Look at the photos.
Yeah? Who's gonna clean that big house?
We'll hire a housekeeper.
And who's gonna mow all that grass?
I will, on the weekends.
And who will get the kids to school?
We'll start a neighborhood carpool.
You thought of everything, didn't you?
Yep.
Except, who's gonna sell this house we're living in now?
Nick and Ellie Glidewell. nickandellie.com. Equal housing opportunity, Sagely and Edwards Realtors.
Checking back in at Randall Ford, 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. Got my friend Ray with me. You know, Ray, if someone is looking for a Maverick, the only way that you're going to buy one is if a dealership actually has one in stock, or you have one that's pre-ordered that's already coming in, because you can't order them now through Ford, but Randall Ford has one in stock.
Yeah, it's that hot pepper metallic. It is a new color, beautiful in person. Come check it out.
That thing's loaded up too, man. It has leather, has a sunroof. It's a gorgeous, gorgeous Maverick.
Oh yeah, tow package, yeah, luxury package, FX4 package. Yeah, it's loaded.
Yeah, Lariat.
Yes.
Yeah, good looking rig. Somebody wants to come by and test drive that. All they got to do is just come in and ask for Ray.
Yeah, ask for Ray, the California kid.
There you go. Come by and see us. We're at 5500 Rogers Avenue in Fort Smith. It's absolutely gorgeous. Gorgeous March, man. We're digging it. It's either going to rain, it's going to be sunshiny. So take your pick. We're going to have plenty of it here in the great state of Arkansas.
Your home for every Razorback football, basketball, and baseball game. ESPN 95.3.
Let's get it started in here.
And the bass keeps running and 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 running.
In this context, there's no disrespect. So when I bust my rhyme, you break your neck. We got 5 minutes for us to disconnect from all intellect and let the rhythm affect. Don't lose your inhibition, follow your intuition. Free your inner soul and break away from tradition. Cause when we be out, girlies pull the weave out. You wouldn't believe how we wow it out. Burn it till it's burned out, turn it till it's turned out. Acting up from northwest, east, south.
Everybody, let's get into it. Get stupid, get started, get it started, get it started. Let's get it started. Let's get it started in here. Let's get it started. Let's get it started.
Follow Halftime on Twitter at HitThatLineAR and on Facebook and Instagram at HitThatLine. Now back to Halftime with Phil Elson and Matt Jones.
Back halftime here. Last segment, Matty T, Clay Henry here. Phil is gone getting some sound for the baseball game coming up here before you know it. The Cleverleys. Matty T, you killed it today, man.
That's off their new album, in it,
That's
man.
right. So they've only released 2 songs so far that'll be on the new album. And I know, Clay, you're a fan. You were up at that show in Mountain View.
Did they play this live the other day?
They did not play this live. They played the other new song that they've got coming out, Hillbilly Highway.
Man, they do sound like it'd be a fun show to go to. Well,
yeah, it'll get your foot tapping, that's for sure. I mean, you do all the goofy stuff and parodies, but didn't they get down to playing solos, their different instruments?
Yeah, some people aren't a big fan of all of his stand-up comedy bits he does.
They just want to see him hear him play.
Yeah, exactly. I like it all though.
He's an entertainer.
Do that bluegrass stuff. Paul Harris is kind of a riot, but if they just eliminated all the comedy and just played straight bluegrass, you'd pay to hear him play.
Man, what a fun show today, guys.
I tell you, it's fun for me. I spent a weekend, on the down
Clay,
low.
I'm glad you're feeling better, man. Phil told me that. Yeah,
it wasn't much fun, guys. And I listened to y'all, and I've never taken so many naps. I mean, I was so tired.
Well,
and COVID.
Did you get headache with it?
I had headaches.
Yeah.
I had sore throat. I had all the major symptoms in about 5 days of what I call pretty brutal symptoms. And, my doctor told me, he says, you're going to sail right through it. You're probably going to be all right Thursday to go to the concert in Little Rock to hear Blake Shelton. It was a Christmas present from daughter Sarah, and so sad we knew right away we weren't going to be well enough to do that.
Favorite Blake Shelton song, is it Red or is it Some Beach?
I think I like them all.
Yeah, that's Some Beach. Matty T, we got a podcast coming up?
We do. The Eastside Liquor Halftime Podcast will be coming out shortly. In about 30 minutes, I'll have that posted in case you missed any part of the show. The entire show is posted in podcast form.
We'll have a full crew tomorrow, Wednesday. Phil will be back. Clayman, awesome as always. And thanks, everybody, for listening.
Glad to be a part of it. Y'all make it easy for me.